recording. Also, got space on the drive for the recording. Need to clean my darn glasses. I got butter on them. Ugh. All right, I'm live while Dean Withers is live, so I'm going to have no viewers probably. But it's late, and I didn't get to stream before him today. I'm trying to stream every day. So we're starting early. We're going to see if I can defeat Dean for my not for his viewers, because he has probably many thousands of viewers, but for my viewers who also like to watch him. We're going to see if they prefer me. Simple sign today. Lots of discussion about the 25th Amendment this week. And I think that all the discussion about the 25th Amendment implies haven't warmed up my tongue yet. It is difficult to talk this fast. I kind of need to get into my flow. But that's kind of one of the shticks I'm going for. If you like a really fast talking debater, I think that's going to be my thing. I have to leverage the skills I have, right? The question isn't what's the best way to do debate live streams. The question is what's the best way for me to do debate live streams. So I think I should leverage the skills that I in particular have. And one of them is that I can talk really fast. There's a bunch of different reasons in my life why I got good at that. But I do talk really fast, and the information density is really, really good for the algorithm, because if somebody talks for 20 seconds and then I answer for 20 seconds, because I'm able to speak so quickly and put my thoughts together as quickly as I am, which isn't really me bragging. You can just go watch my videos. It's a skill I have. I get to say a lot more than them. I've been considering that lately I kind of want the audience's opinion on this, because when I edit the debate streams, I can look at the waveform. I can look at like a 40-minute call, and I can see when they're talking, and I can see when I'm talking, and I can see a rough proportion of how much one of us talks and how much the other talks. And it's kind of a spread. There's calls where the caller mostly talks, and then I have to like snipe a word in edgewise. And then there's calls where I do most of the talking. And just by the ones that go well, I think that me talking slightly more than the guest is the right equation. I'm not really thinking about it too hard in any individual call, though, and I know I can be obviously quite the motor mouth, so I have to let the guest speak, of course. But I just think, especially when the caller is uneducated, I find that when the caller is like completely uneducated, doesn't know how the government works, doesn't know how the three branches work. I have a new rule that I'm following, by the way, so I'm going to open my multi-guest window, because I should be encouraging you guys to click. We've got Grace Karminski. She says that Trump is the best president ever. And I don't do this unless I don't have a caller, but I don't have a caller right now, so I'm going to mute your account for the duration of the live. And if you want to continue to argue that point, you're welcome to hit the request button and discuss it with me with your voice. Oh, that made me lose my train of thought. Oh, yes, I remember what I was saying. When the caller is really uneducated, when they don't understand how the three branches of the government work, when they don't understand like what Stephen Miller's job title is, or Pete Hegseth, or like, you know, like when they don't like know what's going on, the calls tend to be mostly beta male. Fun. You can come tell me that I'm a beta male, like with your voice, but I'm going to mute you to encourage you to do that. Trump Taco Tuesday, indeed. No caps though. That looks like a friendly message, but no caps is just kind of a rule. I think it keeps the chat cleaner for everybody. Whoever just got double tapping away, thanks for that. Trying to get my pre-stream rambles out, but I don't have a caller yet, so I'm trying to respond to what's says great argument, dude. Really killing it with the prompt. I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not, because there's not much of an argument here. I mean, I guess I am arguing that Trump is incompetent, but there's no like evidence on the sign or anything. Anyway, as I was saying, I think that when the caller doesn't know how the government works and they don't know the facts of the matter and they're not really following the news all that closely, I end up talking most of the time in the call. Like by the air time, it could be sometimes as much as me speaking like 80-90% of the time if they really have no idea. And those tend to be the fools who are capable of being convinced that they've been fooled by the Trump administration. And then at the other end of the spectrum, the calls when the caller is really talking, it's hard for me to get in a word in edgewise, and I might be tempted to use the mute button. Those tend to be like a totally different sort of call, where you have a very, very educated caller who knows the facts, but maybe like doesn't like women or people with skin that isn't white. Like there's some other reason. Stay a windrow. I don't even know what that comment means. Maybe I just don't know the lingo. I'm not really a TikTok generation type person. I'm kind of a poser in that sense, but it's going well so far. Anyway, whoever's tapping away on the phone screen, that's great, because Dean Withers is live, so we'll see if I get any viewers at all, because generally I don't stream when he's live, but I haven't streamed today yet, and it is late, and I want to get ahead of it. But I might, if I don't get any callers in, if I can't get a good stream going, then I might have to wait an hour or two until Dina's off and come back, because I'm good at I'm good at just yapping away, but it really isn't the best content, and I'm here trying to make good content that people want to watch. Thanks for the shares. I appreciate everybody sharing. Trump train, says Nard Marion. Here. Oh, Milton Friedman. Have I spoken to Milton Friedman before? I don't know. And David, you're going to have to wait because Milton got in here right before you. I'm just going to remind you that you have to obey the TikTok terms of service. You have to be, in disagreement with the sign or, with me about Trump generally. Thanks for the heart me. Well, who sent the heart me? Love animal. Thank you for the heart me. All right, Milton Friedman. Obey the TikTok terms of service, be a Trump supporter, and be over the age of 18. How old are you?
35.
I believe you. What would you like to discuss?
That as far as the tariffs and the ICE agents go, it's kind of the Democrats' fault that they've forced Trump's hand, because the Democrats want really strict labor policy.
One at a time. Okay. Sure. The tariffs. How are the tariffs the Democrats' fault?
Okay, so if the Democrats would let the free market rule, then we could have sweatshops here in America, right? But since the Democrats won't let us do that, the next natural play is to have tariffs.
Wait. Okay, so the reason the tariffs are the Democrats' fault is because we won't allow sweatshops, because we wouldn't need the tariffs if we allowed sweatshops. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just take that to its natural conclusion. You are in favor of sweatshops.
I'm in favor of free market capitalism. If that yields sweatshops, so be it.
Okay, that's terrible. So how do you think that the benefit to the everyday American of having sweatshops by improving the productivity of the companies that own those sweatshops is at all worth the suffering that is caused by sweatshops?
Okay, children love to go to work with their parents. Am I correct? Am I wrong?
God, what do you mean, like little kids?
Yeah.
Little kids like going just about anywhere with their parents, yes.
Okay, so if you don't let the child go to work with his parents, the child's sad. So your policy makes sad children, yeah?
I think that the children are more sad, like in general, in their lifetime if they end up in a sweatshop than if maybe they didn't go to work with their parents and instead went to school or some other place. Are you a troll, dude? I don't believe you. I don't believe this is genuine. This is just absolutely.
Question. Have you seen the TikTok video with the little Mexican boy on the train where someone gives him a fake dollar? He's begging for change with a little knapsack. Have you seen this TikTok?
No, and I don't care. And I think this is going to be a short call, so I'm gonna. We did tariffs. I think I know your answer for the ICE thing, because I can actually see where you probably think the connection is there. But I'll let you say it for yourself. How do you think that Democrats are responsible for ICE?
Yeah. Now Milton Friedman, the economist, does a great 10-minute video on this.
Oh, that's right. That's why I recognize your name. You're Milton, the famous Milton Friedman. I'm always in the zone of looking for usernames I recognize to see if I can predict which caller it is. But yeah, what did he write? He wrote a really popular book. He's one of the. It's not Guns, Germs, and Steel. That was the other. Sorry, you were talking. Tell us who Milton Friedman is. I'm gonna Google him.
He does price theory. His books were about price theory.
Right. The economic stuff.
When it comes to the immigration, what he's saying is that since the Democrats want generous labor laws, minimum wage, overtime, health insurance, since they want this type of stuff, the administration, the current, whether it's Biden or Trump, the current administration is forced to keep out immigrants. Whereas if the Democrats would let the labor markets open, the immigrant would benefit, and so would the American businessman. But Democrats are getting in between that, and they're saying, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. So now we have to have immigration quotas.
I think that you learn things about the world and shoehorn them into this perspective instead of taking a holistic approach to the information that's available to you. I think that's my assessment of you from this call, and I think I'm going to do the Dean Withers things of saying that it's not really all that worth my time to discuss this with you, because I think a very small number of people think as absurdly as you do. I mean, I think that if your starting point is that the Democrats are responsible for the tariffs that Trump enacted because we won't allow the Republicans to create a market environment where sweatshops are legal and therefore provide the economic productivity that we would otherwise need to garner through tariffs. I mean, not only is that position evil, it's also stupid, because there aren't the economic benefits to tariffs that you think they are if you think that the economic benefits of sweatshops would replace them. I will admit there are economic benefits to sweatshops, but at the expense of human suffering, which I don't,
it's a little nuanced.
I don't think it is. That's why I'll give you another minute to convince me that it's nuanced enough to keep discussing with you, but I just don't think it is that nuanced. So what do you got?
Okay, so what if the Democrats won't let sweatshops here in America? It gives Trump the opportunity to make tariffs somewhat profitable, even though I'd
rather have tariffs than sweatshops, though. Like, the tariffs are bad, but I'd rather have tariffs than sweatshops. The tariffs are less horrible than the sweatshops.
Like I said.
I mean, do you disagree? Do you think that sweatshops are better than tariffs?
Well, like I said, so Milton Friedman said this, and I was trying to get it. No.
Just like your opinion. Tariffs or sweatshops? Yeah. I want to know. Tariffs or sweatshops, buddy?
There's nothing wrong with sweatshops.
There's something wrong with sweatshops.
There's not.
There absolutely is.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
no. So listen, when you go into a third world country and you shut down a sweatshop, the children are upset. I'll put it to you like that.
Yeah, that's there. There you go. I didn't even need to say it. Like the children being sad in the sweatshop, that's horrible. That's bad. We don't like that.
Right.
No, none of that.
They have no other opportunity.
Thank you for the heartbeat.
I'm letting them earn a nickel a day.
Sorry,
I'm letting them earn a nickel a day. They can't even do that under your regime.
Dude, you haven't convinced me that the topic is nuanced at all. So I am gonna boot you. That was a weird call. That guy was arguing in favor of sweatshops, which, yeah, okay, we don't need to spend more time on that. That one was pretty fun. Okay, Mama Avery asks what I'm doing on at night. Yeah, well, maybe you just haven't caught me at night, but I often am on it around this time. I try to be on before or after Dean Withers, and because he is on like somewhere between noon and 8 p.m., it tends to be before or after that. I just didn't get to this morning. I slept in because I had a gig last night, and normally I work super early on Fridays, but today was one of the first Fridays in a long time where I didn't work that early, so I had fun after my gig. I stayed out with my buddies and got up to no good, as a young man should. No, I didn't get up to any no good, and I'm not that young. But I sure slept in. That happened. So I was very behind on all the things I was supposed to do today, and just finished them, and now I'm back on. He's a libertarian absolutionist. Yeah. I don't think he was a very educated libertarian absolutionist. I think he just learned about those ideas recently and was like, "Oh, that sounds great. People can do whatever they want. I have enough money that sounds like a good thing for me." But yeah, I don't think he was really prepared to make any good humanitarian arguments about that. Gary Federico says, Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. I assume that's what you mean. I don't have a caller right now. Oh, wait, never mind, I do. So sorry for muting you, but you can call in if you want to keep talking about that. We're going to talk to Kodegi? Kodeji? I don't know. There's an accent mark on the end. Quick. First of all, don't disobey the TikTok terms of service. That's bad. Gets me. That ends the conversation if you do that. You got to be in favor of Trump, and you got to be 18. How old are you?
I'm not in favor of Trump, but I'm definitely over 18. Can I ask a question?
No, sorry. Later. There's a part of the stream where I discontinue my efforts to build my viewership, but Friendlies are really bad for that, so I'm very sorry. So you're welcome back on anytime. But anyway, I do mute dissidents in the chat, not during the calls, because it's fine to chat about stuff that you disagree with me about in the chat. But while there's no caller, which there currently is no caller, I don't want you to disagree with me in the chat. I want you to hit the request button and come talk to me and discuss why maybe you disagree with the sign, or why maybe you think that Trump shouldn't be impeached, or all that jazz, all that liberal nonsense. I bet you've never kissed a girl yet. Yeah, the president's a rapist, and you're worried about my dating life. If you want to tell me that's in my face, go ahead and request, and we can have a conversation about why you think that way. Anyway, yeah, I'm not really interested in arguing with the chat. Ayatollah 28. What are people saying? Is that okay? I consider that spam. How many women do I hide behind? What does that even mean? I don't know. Strange chat. I guess it's been a little while since I've been online while Dean Withers is online. I think he's still live. I'm not really paying attention. But I have noticed, I've been doing this long enough now, I'm doing it consistently enough, that the news cycle will change, and then suddenly the trends are different. The things the trolls in the chat are saying is suddenly very different. I remember when the Iran war started, I was so surprised to see that for 48 hours, the only spam comment was liberals love terrorists, liberals love Iran or whatever, claim. And it's just oh my God. Anyway, user something says good in reference to what? Come here, Noodle. My dog's been barking a lot today. I don't know why. Sometimes she's really reactive to noises, and other days she's much more chill. I don't quite understand it because there's someone talking in the hallway, so she's barking. I got to pet her off camera. Quiet chat, because I muted all the people who were spamming random things. But again, sorry if you're frustrated by that. I really got to get a caller in here. That's the only way to keep the stream healthy, because Oskar talking to himself for an hour just isn't that good a show. But I appreciate the double taps. That helps get people in here. Trump's entire cabinet is as competent as he is. Bring on the midterms. I actually disagree. Sweet James. I think we're on the same side of the issue here. Hello, Gosmarin. I'm excited to see you here. Anyway, I don't think that Trump's entire cabinet is all that incompetent. I think they're evil, and I think they are reasonably incompetent. Okay, there's Pete Hegseth's pretty incompetent, but for being Secretary of Defense, he's pretty incompetent. But I think that Trump is the most incompetent component of the cabinet. And I've said this before on stream, but maybe it'll Chiva, you are not banned, muted. You are muted because you disagree with me and you support Trump. And because I don't have a caller, I'm going to encourage you to come talk to me instead of typing in the chat, which is why I muted you. So sorry about that. I think Trump is the most incompetent component of his cabinet, and I think that if I were to speculate what people like Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth and them actually want in their heart of hearts, J.D. Vance. I think J.D. Vance is just hoping he becomes president any one of these days. If you want to read the line between the lines on that. Somebody says, "This is my first time seeing you. You seem chill." Thank you. Appreciate that. I try to be chill until somebody tells me something really horrible, and then I get kind of snappy and mean. I got Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of thing going. I think that they're counting the days for Trump to have a medical emergency or just, pass away of old age, which I'm not saying is something. Oh, is my camera in the wrong place? That's why I was so low when I framed myself. It took me forever to fix that. Oh, no. Oh, shouldn't have messed with it. It's going to be, oh no. I need better technology. Ah, there we go. That's roughly where I want to be. Can move a little forward probably. There we go. No, now this is, see, I shouldn't have messed with it. I should have just left it, but I had a black bar at the top. Will I be at the Whipple tomorrow? Any live feed? That's the plan. Tomorrow is Fuck Ice Day. I suppose I should be advertising that. I can't promise that there's going to be a live feed because sometimes when there are big crowds, the internet coverage is really, really hard. So the Whipple building is the federal building in Minneapolis where ICE operates out of, and I do intend on going and participating in the festivities. What are those festivities? Well, you can go check out the Woke Farmers Instagram or TikTok or whatever if you want to see that. I can't really talk about it on TikTok due to the subject matter. Though I will say, actually, for the couple of you watching, because I just started and I think Dean Withers is still live, you should follow me on the other platforms, because if things get too hectic, which I expect they will at some point during the day, I will be switching streaming from TikTok over to YouTube, because YouTube is not likely to ban me for depicting violence or police brutality or things like that, TikTok will. I got to be pretty careful in general, even just who I'm standing in earshot with, because if I stand too close to somebody who's yelling foul enough things at the ICE agents, the TikTok auto transcription thing will catch it, and I can get like a flag for abuse for people like trashing on ICE agents. So I need to be careful. Brett says he thinks he's doing something serious. If you think what I'm doing is unserious, like there's a degree to which I have to be a little bit unserious. Like that gets attention on it. That makes it entertaining for people. That gets eyes on it, which is the purpose of a lot of activism. But if you disagree with me, then you should hit the request button and come talk to me about that. The best thing that can happen would be Article 2, Section 4. What? I am like not. That's for the 25th Amendment, right? I actually haven't looked at I think it's so unlikely for the 25th Amendment to be invoked that I just haven't really actually researched the language of it all that much. I think it would be politically bad for, like Trump is trying to hold on to the support of MAGA Americans, even though people like me are convincing people otherwise, and it's a fast dwindling group. Gosh, sorry, my nose is itchy today. So if they just invoke the 25th, like all these diehard Trump supporters who think he's God would be so mad at them that'd be bad. He'd need to have a really serious medical emergency where it was obvious to the public that the 25th, which I mean it already is obvious to the public, but it needs to be obvious to a MAGA American. Like if Trump goes into a coma or loses his ability to speak because of a stroke or something, then they might do it. But so long as he's capable of sitting in front of a desk and talking, I just don't think that they're going to do it. 25th Amendment. No, let's not do Cornell Law School. Let's do constitution.gov. There we go. Okay, well, wait. Which I want to reference right the part that the chat asked about. Article 2, Section 4. 25th Amendment. Or no, is Article 2... Are we referring to Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution? Because the 25th Amendment only has sections, not articles. I don't know. Joy and whimsy are forms of resistance. Yes. Not the 25th, but Article 2, Section 4. Okay, yeah, let's look at... Oh, see, this is me not having pulled up the Constitution in a while. The page I was looking for, I had it bookmarked. Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution. Let's have a look. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish, the judges both of the Supreme and inferior courts shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during the continuance in office. Oh, wait, I read the wrong one. Why did my Control F not work? Sorry. Whew. Let's go find it again. The webpage was broken. I clicked the link to it and it brought me to the wrong place. And I'm losing my viewership because I'm not doing a good job hosting. But that happens some days when I'm not warmed up. It's really like, I'm a musician and I get warmed up to perform music well. And I find there's a very... Oh, I read the section after that because it's very tiny. Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office by an impeachment for in conviction of for treason, bribery, or other... Oh, yeah, okay, right. You're just talking about the impeachment. Of course. Sorry. I wasted 3 minutes of stream time realizing you were talking about impeachment. Yeah, I'm actually I have a document written up about the path to impeachment because we have some empty seats right now, and it's way more statistically likely that we'll end up with... Well, obviously, it's more likely that the impeachment will happen than that he'll be convicted because the former is a prerequisite for the latter. I just mean that the odds in the House are better than the odds in the Senate because the majority isn't as extreme, and there's some seats that might change. So, typical liberal, come tell me with your voice. I'm going to mute you in the chat, so you are encouraged to hit the request button and come talk to me in front of everybody, and we will discuss why you think that I'm a typical liberal. Anyway, so I think that we're getting to a point where an impeachment... Not conviction, but just the impeachment, which is the House deciding that he should be impeached. Then Congress, or then the Senate has to convict him. He's not likely to be convicted anytime soon. But the number of Republicans that need to flip for him to be impeached is small. It's a handful. It's something like 3 to 5 of them, depending on how some runoff elections go and stuff like that. And the benefit of that, even though he wouldn't be convicted, is that it would get public attention. Something that's happened a lot in the last couple of days. People in my life have called me for their weekly Oscar update because people who don't like following the news call their buddy Oscar and say, dude, what did I miss? And I go, okay, when did we talk? We talked on Sunday. Oh, my God, yeah, the president threatened to kill 90 million Iranians on Tuesday. What a war criminal. But I catch them up on stuff. So I was on the phone with a friend of mine yesterday, and I was running her through the 13 articles of impeachment that are currently drafted against President Trump in the House. And for like half of them, she was like, oh yeah, that. And then for half of them, she was like, he did what? He did what thing? Because most people aren't like us sitting here on this live. Most people aren't watching all that closely. And to somebody who's not watching all that closely, like these things, some of these enormous things slip through. There's 13 articles of impeachment right now. And if David, I'll take you on in just a second when I finish my point. If the impeachment goes through, those 13 things will be debated in a trial by Senate, and that will be good to educate the public on what those 13 things are, even if the conviction doesn't happen. And that's extremely valuable. That's more valuable than me sitting here talking about them. So I support these impeachment efforts. And given that the Epstein files the Epstein files haven't been released properly, but the law stating that they should be was passed in exactly this sort of situation where just a narrow majority of people wanted to support it in such a way that Trump couldn't veto it, and that required a couple of Republicans flipping. We're in the same situation hoping for an impeachment, and the trial would be good for what the public knows about Trump, even if he isn't convicted, because enough Republicans sitting in the Senate are literal traitors to our Constitution. We're going to talk to David. We're going to remind him not to break the TikTok TOS, to be a Trump supporter, and to be above the age of 18. How old are you?
19.
I believe you.
Okay.
We'll see. If you start exhibiting signs of not being an adult, I'm going to start asking you questions only an adult would know the answer to. But you support Trump?
Yes. I would say that Trump is not incomplete because he exhibits
Incompetent.
some of these signs. Oh, wait. Incompetent.
I did it backwards. Incompetent.
Incompetent because he exhibits some of these signs. I would say one sign that he has been exhibiting is that the state is everything. I would say that
the state is everything?
I would say that fascism is the system that we should do. I mean, yes, but yeah, I would say that him exhibiting some signs of fascism is good.
Sorry,
do you want to
I'm
argue?
just checking if Dina's still alive. Sorry about that. You think that fascism's good?
Yes, fascism as in the state is everything. I think that fascism is not just ultranationalism and authoritarianism because with that definition we could just call 98% of basically every single empire fascism. We own it, and that's not true. I would say that fascism
No, you're not making any sense, buddy.
I would say that fascism is mainly the idea that the state should be everything, that we have these big private companies that are just controlled by the state. Yes, I would say the idea that there is freedom on a baseline, but you need a state to give you that freedom. I would say that he's good.
You're not making any sense. I'm sorry. Why do you think fascism is good? In short?
Yeah, because I just prefer it over other systems. I mean, we can we can talk about.
It's not actually a system. In the same way that you can have a dictatorship or a kingdom or which those two kind of overlap sometimes. Or
you mean
fascism isn't a system of government with a set of rules that is some particular thing. It's just a set of characteristics that refer to these sort of authoritarian regimes that have really bad civil rights abuses against their populations. It's not a specific system of rule.
When you say king, you mean monarchism?
Well, the reason I made a distinction between dictatorships and a monarchism is for that reason. Yeah, because there's a difference between something like England and Iran, for example, or North Korea.
Yeah, caution.
They still have a parliament. It's a little different. But yeah, what's your question?
The thing is with monarchism is actually right wing. Fascism is not. It's actually left wing. In fact,
fascism is intellectually left wing.
Yeah. Yes. Because
in what way? Are you going to give me some technicality that they're anti-religious and that makes them Democrats or some nonsense like that? Okay, what's your point?
It makes them left wing on the political spectrum because they are economically left wing. They have some socialist ideals. I don't.
Ooh, sorry, I lost my internet for a moment. Are you
them being Yes,
Okay,
them
sorry.
being economically left wing, even though you could say that it has a lot of
No, dude, I don't think you
conservative
understand the
ideals.
definitions of the things that you're talking about, given
Yes.
that, like, being ultra right wing is one of the definitional factors of most people's definition of fascism. Like, even the people who disagree with me on, like, Brits 14
Yep.
points and stuff like that, like,
Wait.
I think everybody agrees that the fascists are ultra right wing, and you're sitting here arguing that they're left wing. Yeah.
I think you are confusing ultra right wing with ultra nationalism.
No, I mean,
Nowhere-
those things are related. I just cannot accept that you're arguing that fascism is left wing. I mean, we just disagree too much.
It is.
We disagree too much about definitions of words to have a conversation, dude. We're not speaking the same language if you're telling me that fascists are left wing.
I am okay. The fact that it is economically left wing, it would be placed. It is against capitalism. It has some National Socialism ideals. It has the state controlling these big like private companies. Like yes,
Yeah, but liberals want larger government as opposed to smaller government in instances where it protects the freedoms and liberties of the people, of the everyday people in that system of governance. Fascists want a bigger government for the opposite reason. So that's why they both want a bigger government as opposed to, for example, some type of libertarian or other such more like smaller government policy. So like you're playing spot the different. Like you're like if we play this game of spot the difference and spot the similarity, it's like, well, you know, Nazis wear shoes, I wear shoes. Does that make me a Nazi?
No.
Okay.
Liberals.
Right. And
liberals are right wing.
Liberals are right wing
because they support Leiden's fair basically free market capitalism, or capitalism with some restrictions. The fact that they do support capitalism, that makes them right wing too.
All right, dude. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you go. Please, whatever you've been reading, keep reading. Read more stuff. Read more books. That's not. I'm sorry. I don't think that's an entertaining call. I'm not gonna argue that liberals are right wing. Aren't right wing. I don't think. Yeah. Okay. Well, that one broke my brain. Man, I'm like not booting up yet. I'm not in my snappy debate stuff. I need to get somebody who's like actually got something to say other than that fascism isn't a right wing ideology. Anyway, this username is just a symbol, but welcome up. If you're going to obey the TikTok terms of service, if you're going to be a Trump supporter, and if you are above the age of 18, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 18. Fascism is left wing. Like it's inherently left. Okay, so fascism is a derivative from Latin that means fasces, right? It's inherently socialist, and what
and the F slur is a word that means bundle of sticks and has nothing to do with homosexuality. I'm not like no, dude. Like you can bring up these.
Dude, no. Okay. It's.
We need to use the words as people use them now when we're having conversations. Because I can pull the OED out. Oh my god, I should, because I keep having to make this argument. I could pull out my OED and read the first definition for any word, and instead of it being the most common uses of that word that a normal dictionary would have, as a historical archive of what words used to mean, the first definition listed would be the first time that word showed up in any historical reference that the people who work at Oxford were able to find when they were writing the dictionary. And I would sound like a jackass if I spoke only using those words. So I don't care what the Latin root of the word is. I care that the people who are associated with the word do horrible civil rights violations.
Okay, yeah,
that's what I care.
You know, it's funny. Those are LARPs. Yeah. So it's inherently socialist either way. Like that's where the word fascism comes from. Like it wasn't just for no fucking reason, dumbass.
Amper says not the OED, and I'm saying not the OED. It wouldn't be the approach. If you were doing a history paper on like the rise of fascism, it might be like worth looking at that. But no, when people say Trump is a fascist, they're not like referring to an Italian from the 30s or whatever, like the fascist. Like no.
Yeah, well, that's what a fascist is. You utter numbskull. That's what a fascist is.
Utter numbskull. Yeah, dude.
What are you talking about?
No. If you polled people and asked them what they felt fascism was and had them give a description, that's not the definition you'd arrive at.
They think fascism is no free speech. That's what.
No,
that's what they think fascism is.
No, I'm just saying that most people don't use your definition of fascism, and when you refuse to use the definition,
because they're idiots and they don't read the fascist literature.
But if you refuse to use the definition of a word that most people use when they say that word, you are just closing your ears and refusing to have a conversation.
Yeah, so that's going to be an appeal to consensus. That's going to be an appeal to consensus. Yeah, that's going to be a appeal to consensus.
Yeah,
and
no, and the
they don't know what they're
appeal
talking
to
about.
consensus
No,
doesn't work.
because they think it's all right.
The
No,
appeal
no.
to consensus
So why did
doesn't work
wait?
for
So
policy and ethics, but it does work for what a word means.
No. So why is it all right? Why is fascism all right?
I literally just ended the previous call by saying I'm not going to sit here and try to argue that fascism is all right. I'm going to kick you
because it's not.
I hope you learn how to speak English, dude. Again, like I could sit and here and explain what the word fascism means. Fucking again, I did a whole streamer. That's all I did. But yeah, I just don't think it's good use of the time. We're going to talk to Trombone Man 42. I wonder if he's the guy who everybody said sounded like a trombone, who I did a call with and had a bunch of Instagram reels take off. Trombone Man 42. Do you support Trump?
Yeah. No, I maybe you probably sound like you're not really interested in continuing the last conversation, but I came up here.
3 in a row? Are you going to tell me that fascism is a left-wing ideology?
I mean, it is to some degree, but I guess I take is...
What is happening? What is happening? Oh my God!
Well, I didn't hear your last conversations, but can you?
No, I'm sorry. I'm not. Okay, he doesn't support Trump, so I didn't, and I forgot to ask how old he was. But no, I'm not gonna say that fascism is associated with the left wing. Like, even if there is like some particular thing about fascist regimes, no, dude, I said no. Like, don't like no. Like I said no. You click and request again. It's not gonna make me change my mind. You can find like there's probably something about fascism that if you compare it to like normal Republicans in America 20 years ago, maybe one thing that they might do is more like something that the liberals would do than what the Republicans would do. And like that just isn't a good argument for it being left wing overall, you know? Like it's like, again, we're playing spot the similarity instead of spot the difference, or spot the difference instead of spot the similarities. It's like, you can tell me a thing that Hitler did that Trump didn't do, or something that Trump did that Hitler didn't do. But there's some important things that they're both doing that are very bad. Can we talk about those? Can we talk about the important stuff? My goodness. My definition is the right one. Trump's dementia is now obvious. Just ask Cannon Owens, who said, "Time for Grandpa to go up in a home." Yeah, okay. Because the Nazi Party started as socialists, they were under the guise of socialism. Yeah, like I get the various historical arguments or spot the similarity type of arguments. Like I'm not actually disputing any of that. I'm just saying that when people say that Trump is a fascist, it's not in reference to those historical examples. It's in reference to the things that these sorts of leaders have in common. These dictatorial, authoritarian, right-wing leaders who do horrible things to their populations. If you're so uncomfortable calling it fascism because, you know, these people aren't Italians from the 30s or whatever, or, you know, identifying as National Socialists or whatever, like whatever excuses were used by fascists in the past to get their power. If you're not happy that Trump isn't doing those things, then fine, don't call it fascism, but we can still call it really fucking bad, and that's the point. That's the important part. So yeah, I'm just so sick of having these semantics arguments, you know. And I also think that there's a lot of people who like will have this semantic argument about like Trump being a sexual offender, about whether it's like sexual abuse or rape or whatever, where I think those conversations tend to be good faith, but the whole like fascism is left wing thing, whenever it comes up, I just never feel like those are good faith arguments. I don't feel like there's any explaining to these people that Trump having a lot of similarities with Stalin and Mussolini and Hitler is like an okay thing. Anyway. Trump hasn't done one good thing. False. The president does a bunch of boring stuff that's good. My favorite example, just to like throw a bone to the Republicans to say I'm incapable of saying something nice about Trump, is that Operation Warp Speed, the program to speed up the process with which we manufactured vaccines at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. That was good. I argue any sitting president would have done some similar such thing. So, but you know, president in the course of their duties does a bunch of stuff where it's like, it's kind of like how, like when people talk about like how different liberals and Republicans are, it's like actually legally, like in terms of policy, somebody on the far right, like a big like MAGA Trump supporter, and somebody like me on the far left who's like really anti all of that, we actually still agree on almost everything. We still agree on roughly what the speed limit should be. We still agree that murder should be illegal. We still agree that we should tax the population and use the money to pave roads. Like almost all of the laws on the books we agree on. It is just this small set of things that we disagree with. Trump is the GOAT. I'm going to mute you for saying that, not because I don't like that being said in my chat, but because I don't have a caller right now, and I encourage people to call by muting them when they say such things and say, if you want to say that Trump is the greatest of all time, you're going to have to come up here and use your voice to do it, because that is the purpose of the show. So please do hit that request button. Man, I'm not being bossy enough. You guys need to get double tapping on the screen. Almost 10,000 likes, which I appreciate, given that I haven't really talked about likes yet, and some gifts, and I appreciate that. Some new followers, so hello new friends. But yeah, we want to get some Trump supporters in here. Is Dean still live? I literally have him open on my phone, just muted. I'm hoping I get a burst of viewers. Let's see, how long has he been live? Almost 4 hours, so he'll be done soon. I'll probably just hang out. Anyway, somebody's an anti-vaxxer. Whoa. I'll talk to an anti-vaxxer. I haven't done that yet. I'll talk to an anti-vaxxer. If you want to, Das Volk, if you want to, is that how your username is pronounced? Is it supposed to be pronounced in German? Those are German words, and I speak a little German, so it comes out in a German accent. Yeah, if you're an anti-vaxxer, I'll talk to an anti-vaxxer. The sign is that Trump is incompetent. I don't have it framed very well right now. I should make it smaller by making it farther away. Beer Fella has requested. I don't think I saw him in the chat, so I don't know what he wants to talk about. Everybody else get double tapping away on the screen. Follow me if you're not following me. Share the live. All that stuff that helps it perform better. So we can talk to Beer Fella. We're going to talk to Beer Fella. Remind him not to break the TikTok terms of service. Remind him that I'm only talking to Trump supporters today, and ask him how old he is. How old are you?
Hello?
I can hear you
beautifully.
You hear me? Yep. I can hear you. Also, somebody just reminded me in the chat that I absolutely can't talk about anti-vaxxing because TikTok is too strict on that. That's right. That's why we never hear about it on here. Anyway, Beer Fella, I'm not sure if you're having a connection issue or what's going on. You're kind of popping in and out. Are you there?
I might have a connection issue. You hear me now?
I can hear you now. We'll see how it works out. How old are you?
All I wanted to do was say Pam Bondi got fired.
Okay.
Yeah!
Yeah. Fun. Thank you for your time. I'm not celebrating that Pam Bondi got fired. Like they install these people who can be fired and show like, here, look, we did it. We got rid of the person doing the terrible thing. It's called scapegoating. It's like a form of scapegoating, and like she's not in prison. She did some like seriously illegal stuff, and until there's like actual accountability, I'm just not gonna celebrate these like spoon-fed victories where like. Yeah, Gregory Bavino getting fired doesn't change the fact that Operation Metro Surge is really bad. She will. Okay, Beer Fella says says she will be. I hope so. I hope so. And she, Edwin says what is true almost every time we lose one of these figureheads. She's being replaced by someone worse. That's what happened with Gregory Bavino. He got replaced during Metro Surge with Tom Homan, and I think he's an even more evil dude. Okay, dude, no more all caps. I don't want to have to mute you. You seem to be some kind of friendly, and I don't want to do that. What do I think about Melania's speech? Oh my God. Okay, Melania's speech was fucking insane. Melania's, my first thought was, that's right. Like, this is like the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. But the reason I'm seeing this bizarre thing, which is this woman doing this like 20-minute speech where she's like, yeah, I was definitely like closely associated with, but totally not buddies with all these horrible child offenders and all of this horrible stuff. No, like the reason it's so bizarre is because any other woman in any other circumstance would divorce her fucking husband to distance herself from the scandal he's gotten involved in. Like the fact that she did the speech at all is a recognition of the fact that Trump looks horrible in the Epstein files. She's admitting that to the public, surprising him by it, as I understand. I heard some commentators say that Trump didn't know that the speech was going to happen, and that she did it like just like completely by surprise to him. I would want a source on that because that's just like absolutely, truly bananas, crazy, insane. So yeah, it's. There are these moments where it feels like we're living in a movie, like, and it's you can imagine that scene in the movie where the wife of the president is like defending themselves to this crazy nonsense, and they can't get out of it, even though like the emperor's not wearing clothes. Everybody knows, everybody can see that you're like your husband's like a child predator, like all these horrible things, and she has to stand there and just lie through her teeth. It's so disingenuous and horrible and insane. Yeah, I don't think I have anything nuanced to say about it. It was crazy. It was crazy. It's not the craziest thing that happened this week. The president threatening to kill 90 million Iranians in like a genocide. That was the craziest thing that happened this week. So like between Tuesday and Friday, between Monday and Friday, a lot has gone on. Somebody says she's nervous about Michael Wolff's new book, salacious about her and Epstein. Yeah, I mean, clearly something pushed her to do this. I mean, I don't know about Michael Wolff's new book. Because I just don't, I'm not even following all that super duper closely because, like, I look when new Epstein files and stuff come out, but like we know Trump's guilty. We know he's bad. We know he's incompetent. We know. We've been talking today about how fascism isn't left wing. That's not what I expected the calls to be about tonight. Because what I really wanted was somebody to come up and say that Trump is a competent president, and then say, why would a competent president threaten to kill 90 million people? Why would a competent president ever say an entire civilization will die tonight? I want to ask that question. That's what I want. That's what I want to ask a caller. Steve is being requested up. That's your opinion, but you'll find 80 million Americans that don't agree with you. Yeah, I won't actually, because his approval rating has dropped so much that like you're really holding on to that, by the way, rounded up figure of 77 million Americans. But it's not the number anymore. His approval rating is like a third. The number of Americans who think that the checks and balances are working has gone from 2/3 to 1/3. Like there's a landslide of people who are figuring out that Trump is in addition to being incompetent, like literally a rapist and a bunch of terrible stuff. But I got to follow my own rules. I always forget to follow my own rules. I'm going to mute Steve and insist that he hit the request button if he wishes to continue discussing what is tomorrow, because the title of the live stream is Tomorrow's Big Day. Tomorrow's Fuck Ice Day. So I'm going to go do some outdoor content. I'm going to go to the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis, and there's, a U-Haul full of adult toys. I'm not going to finish that sentence, but there is a U-Haul full of adult toys. Anyway, that's going to be fun. I have 2 mods at the moment, don't I? Excellent. I wish you could showed me. I bet it does. I just don't know how to use this thing yet. So I'm going to be live streaming on here. If you're not following me on YouTube, hit the link tree in my bio and go follow me on YouTube, because some of the streaming will be from YouTube, because things will probably get crazy. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is one of our better planned ones. It's like super publicized. So there's kind of a catch-22 with that when we have a surprise organized event where the organization wasn't done publicly. We saw that, I think the last time I was streaming from the Whipple, it was that sort of event where we kind of surprised them. But because this one's so public, the crowd's going to be bigger probably, but they will be more ready. They will probably already have the state troopers waiting for us in the parking lot. So we'll see. They should just use wieners. Wieners would be cheaper, but food waste. I'd rather waste adult toys than food. Be kind of in poor taste, given the sorts of things that we on the left stand for. What do I think about the Trump Arch monument renders? Trump Arch monument. There's like some mega project that they're gonna do, like with like a big arch with Trump's face on it. Let's see. Let's have a look. Arc de Trump, new designs revealed for President's DC monument. Let's just pop over to an image page and see what this is about. Let's throw this up for everybody. Here we go. Let me know if it's visible. It's a little low on the screen, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, just like him hanging banners of his face on government buildings and stuff like that. It's kind of just like, yep, he's doing like North Korea type shit, like, right? Like we knew that, right? We knew that Trump does North Korea type shit. That's not a surprise. I mean, I think it's in poor taste for presidents to build monuments to themselves. I think that's like my more politician-y type answer on it. Let people decide you were worth building a monument about. Have a legacy so positive that people build a monument after you're gone, right? Like that's what you should do. It's that simple. Gonna be the most vandalized thing in history. Yeah, they're gonna have to demolish it if we build that. What a waste of taxpayer money, right? Because like, we're gonna have to have the National Guard stationed at the thing to prevent it from getting vandalized. Yeah, how ridiculous. But yeah, it's can you believe we got 3 more years of this, dude? No, I don't think we have 3 more years of this. I think that I think the midterms are gonna really. I mean, first of all, I don't think if I had to bet, and you can't bet on people's lives, like even the betting markets don't allow it. So like you're not allowed to bet on. Privately, you're not allowed to do death pools and that sort of thing. It's bad. But like, if like what I think in my heart of hearts is that like Trump isn't going to survive his term. I just think the odds are bad. On a person of his age and health. And I also think that there's a really good likelihood that the midterms are going to be catastrophic for the Trump presidency, either by being free and fair and resulting in a totally stacked Congress that impeaches him immediately, or if the midterms aren't free and fair, there might be a civil war, which would be really bad, but I also think would result in Trump no longer like being president, not surviving his term, not staying in power for his term. So yeah, I just don't think so. But yeah, I think that's why I'm kind of scared by the rate at which things are accelerating. The new war and some of these like policies that are coming out are pretty crazy. The SAVE Act, like the midterms are coming up. It's getting to be soon. We are closer to the midterms than we are to the election of 2024. Certainly to his inauguration as well. And it's they've only got this time, because if they don't completely fuck up the government by the time the midterms happen, they will just be completely unseated. And it'll probably be a long time before Republicans have majorities again, because it's going to take a while to clean up this mess. That's what I think. Did I hear about Swellwell? No. I don't know about that. Somebody said something happened to Vance. Is this news? Is this breaking news? I'm gonna Google what the chat's saying. Maybe this is going to be a Just Us Girls chat, because nobody wants to come argue about Trump. But maybe this is just me reading the news with my most dedicated fans. Swalwell, is that the name? American lawyer, representative from California. Okay, I don't know. Tell me what you mean about Swalwell. I don't feel like reading a Wikipedia article right now, but I'll leave it open in a tab if we need it. And I'm going to search JD Vance, because did something happen to JD Vance? Vance is saying Iran don't know English. That's why they misunderstand the ceasefire. Okay, if he said that, that's a dumb thing that he said. Did he say that? I know he was in Hungary and he got news of some action in Iran, and it seems like he's out of the loop. I don't know, man. I feel like JD Vance is like the least in charge person in this whole thing somehow. I just don't get the sense that it's anybody other than Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth really running things. Mike Johnson. He's running for governor. Staff quit and accused him of sexual harassment. Ooh, wait, where is he running for government? Or where is he running for wait, was it governor? Which governor? Swalwell, governor, California. Okay, is he a Republican or a Democrat? Oh, he's a Democrat. Bummer. Yeah, bummer. I think that I will say I don't actually know of any correlation that exists between a person being a Democrat or a Republican being a child predator. I don't, or is it sexual harassment or whatever it is? Yeah, my point is sex crimes tend not to be associated, I think, with that. It's the sort of thing where like we could fix society by reducing scarcity and robberies would go away because people wouldn't need money. But people would still beat their wives and, commit sex crimes and stuff because there's like a non-economic motivation for those sorts of things. So like that's bad that happened. I hope that doesn't like make it more likely that California gets a Republican governor. But yeah, I mean, if he's also Democrat for 20 years, Republican before that. That's a long time. I don't know. Anyway, my point is I don't think that the issue is that Republicans are more likely to be predators. I think the problem is that Republicans are more likely to protect predators, so predators become Republicans. I think that's like fundamentally the difference. So that's a bummer. There's a piece of news, obviously. But got to catch them all, right? Those predators, lock them all up. Trump will likely pardon everyone just like Biden did. Biden set more horrible precedent. What? Set horrible precedent? Oh, for the pardons, right? Yeah, I think the preemptive pardons. All right, Luke wants to talk. Let's actually have a call. All right, I'm gonna step out of frame for like 2 seconds, turn off my space heater because it's getting too warm in here. So everybody get double tapping on the screen. Luke, hang out for just a second. I'll be back in like literally 5 seconds. My darn space heater doesn't have a thermostat. I just have to turn it off and on. I need a better one. All right, Luke. Obey the TikTok terms of service. Be a Trump supporter and be over the age of 18. How old are you?
That's correct. Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
Hi. I'm Luke, and I'm 35.
Please.
How are you?
I'm good. There's something playing in the background. Can you silence that? Hello?
Did that work?
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. Do you support Trump?
No, but I did vote for him.
When?
All 3 times.
Okay, but you wouldn't again? I mean, not in like a third term kind of way, but in like if you could go back to the night of the election between him and Kamala, would you have voted for him?
No, I don't think so.
All right, just because I'm having a hard time getting calls tonight, and Dean Withers is still alive. Why? What happened? I'm happy for you.
I voted for him because of his campaign promises. He campaigned on deportations. He campaigned on no wars. And then he kind of just failed on both counts. He hasn't really deported anyone. And then he started a $1 trillion regime change war.
Yeah. I think of the people who've had their minds changed in the last year, like this term. I think that's usually the reason, is that he's just not doing any of the things he said he was gonna.
Yeah, but it also kind of just makes you become depressed because he campaigned on very specific things and just completely lied about them. And so it's like whoever runs in the next term, whether they're Democrat or Republican, for example, if they say, I'm going to not support Israel or I'm going to not support any Middle East wars, you really can't trust them because Trump set the precedent of just completely lying. So they're all just going to keep lying. We're just going to keep funding Israel's wars.
Well, and I think that gets to an explanation about how we got into this terrible mess in the first place, which is that over the course of the last 15 years or so, there's been a slowly building precedent for Republicans lying more and more and more and more.
Is it 15 years or is it like 35 years? Because Obama did Libya and Biden did Gaza.
Well, I wasn't talking about war. I was talking about lying. I was saying that this pattern of Republicans being able to say absolutely made up ridiculous nonsense is not new, but it was just always a small problem that got worse and worse and worse. And I think that Trump was this sudden change where all right.
You think the Democrats are any better?
Yeah, I think they're a lot better. I think
how AOC always says that she's against funding Israel, but then she votes to fund Israel.
I think that if that's the best example that you've got, then then
that's a complete lie. She's saying that she doesn't want to fund Israel, and then she funds Israel. It's the exact same thing.
Even without arguing the point, because I don't actually know AOC's thoughts on Israel all that much. Even if you're completely right that she's lying about that, it just doesn't compare to the quality and quantity of lies we get from Republicans. Trump almost never says anything about his policy.
It's also a House of Representative versus a president.
Right. Okay. Shall we compare the lies of a Republican president to the lies of a
it's like power
in the last 15 years? Because then we're comparing Obama and Biden to Trump. And do you think that if you compare the things that Obama has said and Biden has said to the things that Trump has said across their terms, who do you think you'd find said the more factually incorrect things?
I'd say they're comparable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's PolitiFact studies on this. Trump told something on the order of 30,000 lies during his first presidency.
Yeah, and Biden and Obama didn't.
I'm going to see what they have. I bet the people who put out that number have the same study done on Biden.
Ever heard of stats?
Statistics?
Yeah, statistics.
Yeah, I'm familiar with math.
Yeah, that there are lies in life. There's lies, damn lies in statistics. You've heard that.
What?
It's a very famous phrase about statistics, that it's very easy to lie with statistics. Statistics don't really say anything. The fact that you can pull up a stat doesn't really mean anything.
If you understand statistics, it's actually
that you can lie with them.
If you understand statistics, it's pretty hard for people to lie to you with them. And I understand.
I completely disagree.
No, I think that the reason it's easy to lie with statistics is because most people don't understand statistics.
I disagree.
Okay, why?
For example, COVID's a good example. Positive predictive value versus actual risk reduction. It's a perfect example. People don't understand risk reduction versus negative predictive value.
Okay, yeah, these things are complicated, right? So you just said,
But you just said that if you understand it,
you
then
just said that people don't understand that, and I'm saying that it's the fact that people don't understand these things that make it easy.
you cannot understand it. You can easily lie. It doesn't matter if you have a major in stats. If you're a stats like aficionado, they can still fool you.
If you're good at this sort of thing, then you can see that when people are lying with stats.
Well, we can disagree. That's fine.
For example,
but at least I let you know that.
For example, it's like you can name a statistic like how many people have been the victims of violent crimes perpetrated by illegal immigrants, and it might sound like a big number, but if you understand statistics well, you would recognize that that's a disingenuous way to report the data when you don't have a reference in consideration to how many illegal immigrants there are versus members of the
I'll go a step further and say it depends on how you define violent crimes, and that you can skew that based on whether one thing is violent or another.
Yeah.
So it's completely meaningless.
Not to do that sort of study, you need an operational definition of violent crime. You need to choose potentially a legal definition.
And the people who are filing in each category need to be reasonable. I
think the point that you're not getting is that greater knowledge of statistics makes you more and more impervious to any particular method of
I disagree.
Numbers that we. So you don't. Wait. I want to say the statement again and just have you to make sure that you disagree with it, because it's such an obviously true statement that I want to make sure you're understanding my point. I am arguing that if you educate yourself on math and statistics and data and studies and like all these all this information stuff, all this stuff to do with the numbers we talk about in the news and politics, if you educate yourself on the academia of how those things work, on how statistics mathematically work, on how p-values and studies work, if you educate yourself on that,
doesn't matter.
I'm saying it makes you more impervious to somebody misrepresenting numbers.
More impervious.
Yes.
Sure, but not impervious, because what
Nothing's
you're assuming
perfect,
is that the data is good.
Yeah.
You're assuming the data is good.
No, because if somebody gives
if the data is bad, it doesn't matter if you know everything, every trick in the book. If the data is bad,
right? But if somebody,
then you're
here, I'll give you an example. People say that 20 to 30 million Americans were let into the 20 to 30 million illegal immigrants were let into the country by Joe Biden, which is false. So the reason I know that that's false is because I know how data acquisition and polling and studies work well enough to trust more reasonable sources than the person who's telling me that. So when they tell me that lie, whether they're lying because they know the truth is something other than that and they're saying something that's false knowingly, or they're telling a mistruth but not lying because they themselves are convinced that lie, somebody else lied to them and they believed it. The reason I don't fall for it is because I'm better educated about where statistics should come from that person, because they believed a liar, and I believe like Pew polling data that shows that there's like only 12 million illegal immigrants in America at the moment, so that doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, it makes you more impervious to being lied to. So that's good. You should get educated on statistics. It helps.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't refute anything that I said there, but have a good night.
Okay. Goodbye. What a waste of time. Yeah. Being better educated about this stuff makes you better at not falling for lies. Like it's the whole fucking point of like learning about stuff, so that you know what the stuff is better. I mean, I guess like I'm making a more nuanced point than that. My point is that if you understand in an academic mathematical sense how statistics work, it's harder to, if you understand like the proportioned representation of violent crimes among illegal immigrants is the important thing, instead of just the absolute number of them, which is something you would learn in a statistics class. It makes you more impervious to being lied to. But I guess the guy agrees? I don't know. But it's not perfect, so we shouldn't do it. What a defeatist argument. This guy's username is Mossad. Ugh. But I had a really nice conversation the other day with a guy whose username was Lord Abortion, so maybe Mossad will be a good faith arguer, and this will be interesting. Mossad, please obey the TikTok terms of service. Please be a Trump supporter, and please be over the age of 18. How old are you? Hello? Mama Avery pointed out that the previous caller was a runner. Yeah, I think he just realized he was talking to the wrong guy. He wanted to go talk to somebody who didn't know. Hey, what's up? Ooh, you muted yourself? Why? Are you driving? I heard car noise. Car noise! 5, 4. Wait, do I need to invite you to unmute? Shouldn't be if you muted yourself. The invite? Okay. You've been invited to unmute. I didn't mute you. Hey, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what do you want to... Oh, yeah, wait, first of all, are you... How old are you?
27.
27, I believe you. You support Trump?
Yeah, more than the other people.
Okay, that's too much. Why?
Well, I think libs and conservative people would agree that America's cooked. I guess that's a good place to start. Would you agree with that?
I've been learning how to use the word cooked because I've been connecting with the youth through the TikTok. Cooked is a word I had to like study how people use. I know when a guest is cooked. I'm not sure I know when a country is cooked. What do you mean is America cooked? What does that mean to you?
Like, it's just fundamentally not going to make it. Like, we don't really have a birth rate. The economy's fake. There's no real,
I'm just going to stab, like, I see you as probably being all over the place, so I'm just going to take a big stab at one thing you said, which is the low birth rate and how we're, like, totally cooked if we don't get enough younger people. Yeah, low birth rate, real bad for a country. We can look at Russia right now. They're struggling with that. You end up in a situation where you have more elderly people to care for. And it's not just, countries that are doing poorly like Russia. Japan has a very similar problem where they have a very aging population. A lot of people aren't having kids. Do you know what can save a country from a low domestic birth rate?
Nothing.
I'm sorry, dude. Obvious. I kicked him because he's driving. But it's not nothing. It's immigration. Unfortunately, is probably not what you wanted to hear. But we have this thing where in more prosperous societies, the birth rate goes down for a bunch of reasons that have to do with like the health and safety of women and better labor practices around children and all sorts of stuff. And in terms of balancing like the global population needs and demographics, it's like actually good on a macro socioeconomic scale to just have people immigrate from countries that aren't doing so hot to ones that are doing better to replace the children that aren't being born in those countries, alleviate the economic conditions of the countries that are still developing, giving them a better chance of developing and becoming one of the developed countries where the birth rate is low. And then that way we don't like careen past 10 billion people on Earth. We want to like maybe get up somewhere near 10 billion and then over the next couple hundred years probably have the pendulum swing back a little bit and settle down kind of close to where we are. That's like the great interesting thing about being alive right now. Like he, as ridiculous as his position was, he kind of touched on something that's truly unique about the lifespan that people roughly my age get to live, which is that for all of human history, it's been getting bigger and faster and more explosive. And that's just not mathematically possible because if it continued at the rate it was over the last few hundred years, the population would be completely out of hand by the end of the century, but that's not what's going to happen. It's not just that it can't happen, it's that the trend, as he pointed out, is that the developed nations, the ones that have gotten more benefit from industrialization and technological advancement and all that stuff, tend to lower their birth rate, and that's good so that we don't overpopulate the planet. Anyway. Das Folk was posting something. I don't know. I'm not gonna look. So message me a thing if you want me to see it. That's I think the way. I kind of lose track of the chat, and I'm not gonna remember his username. They never have anything positive to say about Democrats. All they do is bash Trump. Trump is a great president. Never listen to a liberal or Democrat. Vote red, America. Yeah, I mean, if you think these things, people hit the request button and call in. You're upset that nothing's going my way. Wah. All right, I'm going to start muting accounts that disagree with me and urge these people to call in. He says, dude, Das Folk says, dude, it's Vance saying these people don't know English. That's why they misunderstand the ceasefire. I believe you. I believe that he said that. I will look into it on my own time, but I'm not all that interested in that. It doesn't seem important. I think it is more important that on Tuesday Trump threatened to kill 90 million Iranians than that J.D. Vance said something objectively stupid about Iranians, which, like, we've been bombing them plenty, but they probably still have an English translator. Like, am I the only one who thinks we already have enough people on Earth? I mean, Banana B, I was saying, like, more likely the trajectory is for it to go up a little bit more, like, in terms of what's likely to, happen. But, yeah, obviously, if we could, like, completely the high birth rates that we still have in places like India are problematic. It would be good for that to stop, but there's this unsustainable thing that undeveloped countries do, or less developed countries do, because India is pretty developed, but they have such a large population that there are large swaths of the country that are what we would call undeveloped. Is that they like unsustainably pay for what the middle and older generations need by having so many children to do the labor for them. So there's always an enormous young working population. But that's just obviously unsustainable because then that generation after them needs to have even more children to keep up with it. And it's like a generational Ponzi scheme of labor. And what you see is a lot of a lot of those people move to places where that isn't the case, which is why you have a lot of Indian immigrants, for example, the world over, doing trying to go get a degree that will get them a job in a better country, so they can send some money home instead of having their family need to have like a gajillion more babies to keep farming or whatever. Which I guess I sit here and just yap and I say things like that, but I have to remind myself that everything I just said about India and like this whole population thing is like, I suppose I'm fortunate for all the books I've read in my life, because sitting here and doing these lives has reminded me I have a pretty good top-down understanding of how Earth works. Because I don't know how obvious that stuff is to other people. Immigration solves, it's obvious to me that people should immigrate from undeveloped countries to more developed countries. We want that for this whole stabilization of the Earth's population and global economy thing. That's a good thing, and that's clear if you just understand global socioeconomics, politics, geopolitics, all that stuff. But anyway, Conservative Hawk 3.0. I can't remember if I've talked to you before, but I'm really excited about talking to you now. So I'm going to mute you for the entire live, and you can come talk to me if you want to talk to me. But people are getting muted if I don't have a caller and you're being somebody I want to talk to in the chat. I'm just going to mute you and demand that you hit the button and request up. Otherwise, I'm not interested in you clogging up my chat. Of course, I don't ban these people. I don't mind them, talking amongst themselves in the chat. But when I don't have a caller, I really gotta get people up here. Let's see, what time? Where are we at? Getting there. Okay. Friday night. Maybe I'm the only liberal commentator online because it's Friday night and everybody's out with their friends, and all the conservatives are out with their friends, and I'm a lonely liberal and they won't come talk to me. I actually don't know how a Friday night stream usually goes. I feel like it's when people go out, but it's also when people stay up late on the internet. So we'll see. I don't know. Just trying to give you guys a bone. Trying to give myself some self burns, so you can come, dunk on me for being, in my mother's basement or whatever, even though I'm 30. I guess a lot of the tactics of people on the right who call into these debate lives is just to try to hurt people's feelings. And I think that one of the things that makes me good at this is that I don't think anybody's going to hurt my feelings on here. Elvis Trump likes the rule. The rule's been working. I've also been getting more viewers lately, so maybe it's just that I've been getting more viewers. But I find that gets a caller in here a lot quicker. So I will take a moment to remind everybody to double tap on the screen. I'll talk to the 40 of you who are probably mostly friendlies hanging out, except some of those reds that I muted. I'll do. We've been live for almost an hour, so I'll do a little bit of a mid roll and say that if you want to support me for free, you can do that by following me here, following me on YouTube, following me on Instagram. On my those links are in my link tree in the bio. And if you want to support me in some ways that aren't free, there are ways to do that there as well. But you should follow me, especially on YouTube and on here, because on Saturday, tomorrow, it's Fuck ICE Day, and I'm going to the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis, where ICE operates out of. And we have some festivities planned for Fuck ICE Day. Let's see. Ron Ellis says, "Oh yeah, buddy, your side is doing a great job all around the world right now, especially Europe." That sounds very sarcastic, but yeah. You mean progressives? Because obviously we don't have American Democrats in other countries, but you mean liberal people? Yeah, it's doing great. If you look at Human Development Index, which assesses how nice it is to live somewhere generally on average for a person who lives there, yeah, it is the progressive countries that are doing better. So yeah. Anyway, Ron Ellis is really going away, he says, and now they can't even farm anymore. They called the military on them. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, what's that? You guys fucked up Canada too? Imagine that, dude. What are you talking about? Hit the request button, dude. He says, let me ask you something, boy. Do you even know what the real plan is? You know what? You can tell me about the real plan after you hit the request button and come talk to me, buddy, because I'm not interested in reading any more of your silly messages. I want you to hop up here and talk to me. Bernie Sanders is a centrist in Europe. Yeah, right? We're just trying to not bankrupt people with medical debt, and the Republicans are too busy bombing children in Iran. My goodness. How we have fallen in terms of being members of the progressing world. We're undeveloping. We're going backwards. It's terrible. and people and all the socioeconomic ways that I was discussing, where that's like obviously true of the United States, that we're like regressing in terms of all the things that make us a developed country. That's just so obvious if you understand what it means for a country to be developed. But Trump supporters clearly don't. So they think all these completely regressive policies are good. Speaking of regressive policies, I've had a person call in and argue for a regressive tax rate that tax poor people more. Just like because they benefit from social programs, which is just like the most ridiculous thing I've heard. Das Folk, I don't know if that's misinformation or not. I mean, the fact that they hit it the first time is kind of enough for me. The second time is, if they did that, was worse. But I haven't heard that. I feel like I probably would have if it was true. But because that sounds like a pretty outrageous story. But yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. It's been a little while since I've been to the Whipple and since I've seen some of my protesting buddies. I've been kind of working around the clock and really making a push on the live streaming thing because I've got to go at it. I've had people ask me why I'm not doing more outdoor protesting, and I just keep telling them the same thing, which is that because my debate streaming is going so well, it's a better use of my time. I should keep putting fuel into the fire, right? We should all do the things that we are best at to promote these sorts of ideologies. And I think I'm quickly finding that just actually like sitting here and having a conversation is something I'm way more skilled at than making a difference by going out there and being silly. Though I do like going out there and being silly. That's lots of fun. I hope they have the karaoke thing set up at the Whipple building tomorrow. I'll sing some Johnny Cash for everybody. That'll be fun. Thank you for sharing the live, Mama Avery. You guys do so much. This has been a boring stream. I'm having a boring time. I'm not surprised there's nobody viewing because nobody's calling in. I'm like literally sitting here waiting for Dean Withers to go offline. I was hoping he would do it way sooner than an hour and 15 minutes into the stream, but he's still live. What is he yapping about? Shush, Dean. It's my turn. Go to bed. Anyway. I think I might just hang out hoping for a call until he's off, and then I might reset the stream because this one's kind of tanked algorithm-wise, and we'll have a fresh post-Dean Withers stream. Das Folk says, dude, Google, it's all over the radio here. I'm in a major Muslim area in Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, I mean, I'll Google it quick. Did we double tap the school? Now, you can't always trust local radio stations. Local radio stations can vary because a lot of them are member stations for larger news networks that are reliable or like a part of a larger thing. Like, NPR is like MPR, Minnesota Public Radio, is like the NPR extension here. So like NPR has its liberal bias, but like there's general things you can expect about the type of honesty you get in their reporting. And you can say that for your local NPR station, but like a properly local news station, some of them really report crazy nonsense. Let's see. Double tap. I'll say Das Folk just because I'm not really interested in Googling all these claims you're telling me about. Like, feel free to message me these things, and I will like off stream go and like study them, but not really relevant. It's bad that we bombed the school. Worse if we double tapped it, obviously. But again, like Trump threatened to kill 90 million Iranians on Tuesday. I still just like feel very, very stuck on that. Catch 22 says, keep up. You talking to me? I don't know if you're talking to Das Folk. Christofascists own most of the media. Yeah, that's a big problem. That's like kind of the whole thing. It's like, how did 80 million Americans vote for Trump? And it's like, yeah, we need to talk about how the wealthy billionaires own everything, including the politicians. And yeah, I don't understand why Trump wants to terminate them. I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, it's been front and center for weeks. Mike Dadager 1. You are getting muted because I have this rule where you're welcome to be a Trump supporter in the chat unless I don't have a caller. But if you're a Trump supporter in the chat while I don't have a caller, I'm going to mute you and insist that you hit the request button and come talk to me. Don't use that phrase, though, that you started your message with, though, because it's a slur or like a pseudo slur. And I can't have that on here. I don't mind. You're not going to hurt my feelings, but you are going to hurt TikTok's feelings and get my live banned. And I can't have that. Because I was under the impression this had nothing to do with USA. I am losing track of the conversation that is happening in the chat. But Mike Dadager, I'd really like for you to hit the request button and get up here. Because not enough productive conversations at all. Das Folk says they went to a Trump rally. It was insane. I watched a lot of Trump rallies leading up to his election, and between his election and his inauguration, I think he was still doing them. Like, I just tried to get as much airtime with Trump as I could to really try to get a grasp of just what the fuck is going on in his head. And it is hard, man. Like, there are certain issues where it's really clear. He's like, yeah, definitely keep the public reminded of the lie that illegal immigrants are dangerous or bad for the economy. Like, there's stuff like that he's like really consistent on. But there's just so much stuff where, like, even he can't seem to keep the lies straight. But yeah, that's like the more you watch of Trump, the more you are confused by the things he says, because you put together all the inconsistencies. So all these Republicans who call in and say, Trump's going to do this, Trump's going to do that, Trump has this really clear ideology on this. It's like, no, he fucking doesn't, dude. Like, watch him talk. It's crazy. It is crazy listening him to say 5 different things every day of the working week about the war in Iran. We need NATO's help with the Strait of Hormuz. We never needed their help anyway. We just wanted to know if they were gonna help us. The Strait of Hormuz is open. Iran, please open the Strait of Hormuz. We're only gonna accept unconditional surrender. We'll surrender if Iran opens the Strait of Hormuz. It's like a different thing every fucking day. It's fucking insane. It's bananas. It's craziness. Maybe this event stream where I say, like, how did the president threaten 90 million people on Tuesday, and people are just like chill about it. Absolutely crazy. It was just propaganda. He didn't say anything. Yeah, it was against illegals. It was at a college. Oh, you're talking about the rally you went to. Yeah. I there's almost part of me, because I feel like there's never going to be another Trump rally again. I sure hope there's never going to be another Trump rally again. Does he still do those like little local gatherings, like meaningless rallies, because he's not on the campaign trail? I'm kind of sad that I didn't go to one, because, like, what a spectacle, you know? I couldn't now. Like, frankly, it's certainly not where I live. I'd get recognized, because, like, half of my social media following is local. I get recognized everywhere I go politically, which is a little spooky. Themastily3 wants to talk. I'm going to remind you to obey the TikTok terms of service, be a Trump supporter, and be over the age of 18. How old are you?
What's up, buddy? Hey, have you ever seen...
Wait, I need the answers to the questions. How old are you?
Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry, I'm 37.
I believe you. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir. Have you ever seen this show? Well, it's not a show. It's on YouTube. Actually, his name is Salty Cracker. Have you ever seen that one? Salty Cracker?
No. Don't think I should Google that.
He is your doppelganger.
Oh,
I'm not kidding.
Wait. Nobody can ever find a proper doppelganger of me, so I will Google this.
You have to look them up, dude. Everybody look this up. Everybody look this up.
No. This sounds entertaining, and I have to.
Salty Cracker on YouTube. Check him out, dude.
On YouTube.
And he's super right wing, and you'll just get a kick out of his show.
If he's popular enough, maybe it'd be worth me doing.
He's really popular. 140K views, 70K views. He's got big views. He's got a regular following.
Okay, let's see.
Let's popular. Go check.
He looks like an older me, maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Dude, with the glasses, bro, you guys are identical now. Yeah, I don't know.
He grows a much nicer beard than I do. I grow quite the.
Okay, he usually wears glasses. He lost the glasses, but you guys are identical.
Is this the guy? Wait.
No. Let's go check in on Hassan.
Yeah, dude, but you need the glasses on him. He wears glasses as well.
Okay, wait.
And when he wears the glasses and without his goatee, yeah, you got to go back, go way back. You got to scroll all the way up.
I have to go back to when he was younger for him to look like me. That makes me feel better.
Anyway, this guy's hilarious. I've been on your show before. I've debated.
I feel like this guy looks more like Destiny than he looks like me.
You know what? I mean, he looks way more like you than Destiny, but now that you said Destiny, I mean, there are some similarities. I think that goatee is just awful. I mean, not to be judging dudes.
But mine or his? I've got like the stubble going, but you mean
no, his. I don't mind a little stubble. I mean, yours looks pretty clean, but when it's all the goatee,
you seem a little invested.
Yeah, we're getting way too into this, man.
Yeah, I don't care. My facial hair situation is pretty atrocious. My father couldn't grow a beard until he was like 50.
So I've debated you before. What's the latest TDS narrative? I'm assuming it's he's a taco. Then he's an insane, ballsy psycho. But now he's a taco again. Is that the right? Or now, but he's threatening. So now is he a psycho again? Which one is he?
All of the above, dude. All of the above. Nothing's changed. I mean, like there's been developments, but the general concern about him has been fairly consistent for about a decade now.
You know, I'm starting to self-absorb that even on the smaller amount of, you know, kind of like brainwashing that we get on the right? Have you noticed anything on your side that's just getting a little bit, are you dawning on anything yet? Anything coming, like, doesn't this feel weird? Like we're starting to like shill for Iran and like be against our own best interest. I mean,
who is shilling for Iran and how are they doing that?
Oh, dude, there's you got now. I don't know if you see stuff. I guess maybe we only see it because you guys are in total denial. But there are many outright, you know, rooting for Iran. I hope Iran does this. I hope Iran does that.
You're saying that you're saying that there's people on the alt-right who are in support of Iran.
No, that would be the alt-left.
Oh, you misspoke.
You know, I don't even call it.
You just said the alt-right were supporting Iran.
I never said alt-right in my life till you said it.
No,
I don't use the word.
I either completely misheard you or you either
misheard me. You misheard me.
It doesn't matter which. It doesn't matter which. You meant to say alt-left. That's what's important.
I did not say alt anything till you said alt. So what I meant was.
Chat, back me up on that. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, my mic is quiet. It's hard to balance. There's like this clipping issue that I have. So yeah, I am being a little quieter too because it's late.
I'm also kind of like not in the best. I don't have my earpiece in, so maybe it's not the best sound.
Actually, like I'm just gonna, because I've talked to you before, and there aren't that many people watching, so I just want to explore this a little bit. Like I even said the thing where you either misheard me, or you either misspoke, or I misheard you, and that it doesn't matter because I understand what you meant, and then you wanted to make sure that you were right about which it was. Why does that sort of thing matter to you? Like I feel like you're getting your ego involved in the way that you have these conversations, and that's unfortunate.
Well, that would be going down quite a rabbit hole.
I do want to go down that rabbit hole because I just want to explore you a little bit. You're my guest. I want to talk to you. Let's talk about you. Why does it matter to you so much that you were right about that? The chat says you were wrong.
I'm a man of principle. I didn't really, honestly, and I'm being honest, when I say something, I really mean it. I wasn't trying to revisit it. I may just in habit say, yeah, it was probably just in a habit, like, yeah, it was probably this.
It shouldn't be a habit to just assume, like, basically that you were the one. Because, I immediately clocked, like, he's very convinced he said it the right way. I'm very convinced that I heard it that way. Super unimportant, because clearly one of us just had a brain fart. Like, why is it your default to be like, no, I didn't have a brain fart, when it's, like, totally possible? Why? Why is that your...
I'm pretty... convicting on things. I mean, if I know for sure, I know for sure. I know I didn't say it. It was either a hearing issue or, it was, I thought honestly you were just trying to manipulate to say alt-right, because why would I say alt-right? And it's not part of my vocabulary, because why would I self-deprecate and say alt-right? It's not something, I don't even say alt-left.
Okay, yeah, again, you're like still stuck on it when it just like completely derailed the conversation, which I allowed it to. I encouraged that. So let's get back on track. What the hell do you want to talk about?
Well, I had mentioned the kind of flip-flop of whether he's a taco or he's a psychopath. Which one is it?
Oh, well, so taco, for those who maybe haven't heard that particular acronym, it just says Trump always chickens out about him like doing like making these big proclamations and then backing out like on the tariffs and stuff. He's both, dude. He's like obviously a psychopath, or like does like horrible psychopathic things. And then the taco thing is about Trump always chickening out. I mean, it's one of those things where I try not to like believe absolute statements about everything. Does Trump always chicken out? No, he did start the war. Like he does do some of these terrible things. Taco is just what the economists and the stock traders started saying about him when he kept on pulling the tariffs out, which was pretty good.
Well, now you're pretending that taco's not being used right now, and so I think you're very aware of it.
It is. I was giving some background to it. I'm just saying that it's not literally true that he always does chicken out. Sometimes he doesn't. So it's just not that important. It's more of a meme. It's like a meme about his behavior, but the meme is referring to a thing that's a problem, which is that he's inconsistent. He doesn't do everything that he says he's going to do. Some of the things he does are really, really, really bad. Sometimes he says he's going to do something really, really, really bad, like liquidating a country of 90 million people, which he threatened to do on Tuesday. That would be genocide.
Liquidating.
Yeah.
That's a new quote. You know, I always get you guys in the quotes.
He said an entire civilization will die tonight. Yeah, I editorialized it. I paraphrased it using a different word. But what he said was bad, and then he didn't do it. So it's good that he didn't do it. But it's bad that he said he was going to do it. So,
did you read? All right. Did you? I just want you to just in the same post, because I mean, you can cherry pick and you can actually rephrase what he said, whatever you want to do. But did you see where it said, "God bless the Iran people"?
I also saw that he said that he didn't want that to happen, but that it probably would. So again,
no. In the same post, I just want to get that fact out there that I know your audience doesn't. They can't get past the TDS narrative. So the reality, if we're talking about reality, if you guys want to visit reality, is that he said, "God bless the Iranian people," which would kind of negate any possibility of him wanting to erase the civilization.
Wait.
Now, I also want to say,
no. You said something so interesting. Please, let me address what you just said. By the way, I'm like fine with people, like knowing I was going to put it up on the screen, but I can't even do that because I need to focus on what you just said. You just said that saying "God bless the Iranian people" undoes the thing he said at the beginning where he threatened to kill all of them. Is that what you're saying?
He never threatened to kill all of them.
He said an entire civilization will die tonight.
Right, and so I want to teach your audience.
Wait.
Just basic. Look, guy, this is just English. This is English language. Okay, civilization is a multi-purpose word. Civilization doesn't necessarily mean any people. Civilization. Really?
No.
Where it's most used.
Why would him saying
is civil?
You didn't let
me.
You didn't let me get like to what I was saying about what you said, which is that you said that him saying that like negates what he said at the beginning, and that is like, dude, what a red flag.
It doesn't match the narrative that you're trying to spin.
No, but that's like saying that some girl was being abused by her boyfriend and he like beat her or like threatened to kill her or whatever, some like horrible thing. And then he said that he loved her and he wanted her to be happy with him at the end of the text.
So you're disingenuous. Okay. So you want to be disingenuous. Okay. So what you're saying is that he intentionally threatened to unalive all of them, but at the same time told them, also want to bless you. Like he was that horrible rapist that said and bless you. Say he's a true psychopath, right? Is that easy? Is that an easy sell for your audience or no?
What I'm saying is that him signing the Truth Social off by saying "God bless the Iranian people" does not negate the fact that he threatened to kill all of them.
He did not threaten, and I'll tell you what: if you ever were to threaten, to make that threat, to make it stick, to really want to threaten, you would be as explicit as possible. You would be
okay. He said.
Accurate.
Can you read it on the screen in front of you? It says a whole civilization will die tonight. That's the quote.
Right. Civilization is America is a civilization. When someone comes to a land, that's a civilization. They create a civilization. So they created that through bridges.
Okay, dude. Yeah, like what?
Clearly, if you're threatening to attack bridges, that has to do with civilization, right? Or electric grids. Doesn't that make sense?
Dude,
let's be honest.
The fact of the matter is that the world was concerned that he meant killing the entire population. Like enough people were worried about that.
But he called them great and he blessed them. So this is a narrative you have to sell.
Yeah,
and that he's that much of a psychopath.
And I think that any reasonable thinking person would look at that tweet and think that there's a chance this crazy person might be talking about killing everybody if he says an entire civilization will die tonight. Tell that to the families who lost sleep that night because the deadline was at 4 a.m. Tell them that they didn't pack their bags.
Well, apparently they were so confident that they surrounded the grids. If I saw that correctly, there was a bunch of women and children that surrounded the grids. Is that true?
Yeah, dude.
No?
Yeah, dude. People lined up to protect their infrastructure because they knew potentially how many of them could die if it was taken away from them. So they put their bodies on the line to protect their infrastructure away from our president committing what would be a war crime by attacking that civilian infrastructure. Like you can argue your brain into as many pretzels as you want about whether it was exactly this type of threat or another, but none of it is good, dude. How can you defend this behavior from your president?
I know that you have TDS, but this would be a moment that you and I.
I don't have TDS. TDS is a made-up condition.
Let me just finish though. I think this is a moment where we could unite as Americans and say, you know what? We would never put our women and children in front of our grids. We just wouldn't do that. We just wouldn't do it. It's not us. We wouldn't do it. We don't use martyrs. We don't use children as martyrs and then say, look, you unalive children. That's what they're saying.
Those people chose to do that themselves. It's not like the government said, line up the civilians.
You don't think that martyrism is something about their culture?
That's not what I said. I said that I don't think that the Iranian regime instructed their population to go protect the infrastructure.
Well, do you have any proof of that? I mean, I hate to put the burden on you,
you're
but
the one making the positive claim that that's what happened.
I think
the burden
that
is on you.
Okay, well, I can. My piece of evidence would be that they unalived many tens of thousands of protesters, but
they weren't
saw their recent threat.
They weren't protecting their infrastructure from the Iranian government that did what you just said. They were protecting the Iranian infrastructure from the government, from Trump, who said that an entire civilization will die tonight. I think you're just a bad person, dude. Like I think that's kind of what we're landing on here.
The personal attack. We were having a good discussion.
No,
your audience was learning.
I don't think that my audience was learning anything. I don't think that you're making any good claims.
Oh, you hate for your audience to learn anything.
You're refusing to answer what the things I'm saying about Trump's behavior. Like the fact that, I don't really understand how you can think that.
I will say that even though you have major problems with your thinking, and that's the nicest way I could say it, is that overall you're probably a pretty good, nice person. I've been on your show, and this is the first time I've actually heard you get so personal. I'm sorry that it was such a quick owning.
Yeah, dude, he threatened to make an entire civilization die, and you're okay with that.
Well, I don't want you to overlook the reality of it. It's not the threat of unaliving the citizens.
Okay, yeah,
and I know that
you don't care about the Iranian people. You don't care about the president's threats of them. Can we talk about Trump derangement syndrome? I've actually never really had a long conversation about that on here, but you keep saying I have it. What do you think TDS is?
Well, there's a condition. Some call it a disease, some call it others, but a mental disorder called narcissistic personality disorder. Mm-hmm. And I consider someone like you and others, whether knowing or unknowing, mostly knowing, that you're being disingenuous, that you're manipulating words, and you get so tied up in it. But what we call this in the narcissistic personality world would be a flying monkey. That's called a flying monkey. You can look it up. So what that is that you're carrying out the evil deeds of what I would consider the Democrats, the actual partisans, the ones that want to create the,
all right. Buzzer, bing, ding, been too long.
Go ahead.
Question was, what is Trump derangement syndrome?
That would be everything that you can twist, every word. It is a contest of who can twist things. And it's very cultish at the same time, where all the narratives have to stick. So there are some undying narratives. It takes you guys sometimes 2-3 weeks to let your egos down and say, well, we were sort of wrong. We don't want to, but you don't say that. You just don't argue the points. And I'm wearing you down tonight. You had to review the post, and I appreciate you putting it up there. How can you?
It said what I said it said, and you had no response
to
any of the things I had to say about it, so I moved on to this.
That's your TDS, brother. Understand?
You didn't explain what TDS is.
It's where all of your way of thinking has to work incongruent with hating Trump. So whatever narrative that you're spitting.
Given this stream, I actually listed some good things that Trump did as a defense for people saying that I think everything he did is necessarily bad. I also don't think it's necessarily good, anything done by Democrats. I have lots of criticisms of Biden. I have lots of criticisms of Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. If you look at my personal track record, because you're sitting here accusing me of this, I think that I offer a lot more reasonable positions than a lot of people who come on here and do this, who maybe that accusation is true about. But here's the important thing. Even if that accusation is true about some people, I say, well, it's not true about myself, but if it is true about some liberal commentators, TDS is still a made-up diagnosis that the president created by executive order. Do you think that we create mental disorders by executive order or define them by executive order? You are the one getting spoon-fed.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so I just want to say, first off, I've showed you respect. I've been on your show. I find you to be a pretty nice young gentleman for the most part. I think that the TDS will eventually get the best of you. I think every day you're losing a little bit of your integrity, shilling for a you
wouldn't be talking about TDS if Trump hadn't made an executive order about it, but that's not how we define diseases. They get
I've been
DSM,
saying TDS longer than Trump has. I've been saying TDS longer than Trump has. That's for sure.
maybe the meme is older than the executive order. Maybe I don't have my history on it. But again, like you're saying, it's a mental disorder. Like, what are its diagnostic criteria again?
Well, I said because I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of knowledge in narcissistic.
I didn't ask you how much experience you have. I asked you what the diagnostic criteria for this disease that you say exists is.
Well, I said that it coexists with narcissism and narcissistic cults.
Okay, saying it has like a comorbidity with another disease is not just telling me what its diagnostic criteria are.
The criteria would be gaslighting. It would be blame shifting.
For the chat, he did sign an executive order declaring the existence of this syndrome. You said blame shifting, denial. Yeah, so it sounds like you're the one with it so far, but let's keep going. What's next?
But like a form of bullying. I mean, let's face it. I mean, do you admit that you bully Trump? No. Of course you don't.
No. I thought about it because I don't really use the term bullying. Like I'm mean to Trump. I'm mean to some of my guests. Like I am.
I'm going to prove my point. Let me land my plane.
I'm trying to answer your question in good faith. Can I answer the question whether or not I bully Trump? Because it hinges on exactly how we want to define bully. Because I personally think that bullying somebody is doing it when it's unjust. And so like if I go with that, then no, because bullying is terrible. I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be rude to somebody who doesn't deserve it. I think some people are deserving of our rudeness. I think that some things are ridiculous, and when something is ridiculous, it means it's worthy of being ridiculed. That's what
is that right? That's called TDS. What you're talking about, your frame of thinking. Imagine that. Who is the decision maker if we don't have equal protection of bullying, and we get to decide who decides? Who decides?
Wait, can you recognize that some? Dude, slow down. Argue in good faith. Show my audience that you can argue in good faith, and just like assess the point I just brought up. Would you recognize that some people would define bullying as like necessarily bad, the way we might define murder as necessarily bad, where it's like baked into the definition of the word murder that it means it was done?
I wouldn't say that.
Let me finish my point. Let me finish this point. We're on a little nugget
checking you on your own channel.
Okay. You would
unalive. I would watch the M word.
I actually have some ways in which I resist against the fact that TikTok wants me to talk in this Orwellian newspeak. I really only do it when it's strictly necessary, and I have come to find that I'm okay saying the word murder. So I will continue my point, and I'm actually going to start it over at the beginning because I need to make sure that the sound.
I love that about you. Go ahead.
Appreciate that we're on the same page about that. I really do, because the newspeak thing is horrible. But anyway, what I was saying is that some people would define bullying as like the way they define murder, where it's necessarily bad. Murder means unjustifiable homicide, whereas I might say taunting, teasing, ridiculing, that sort of thing might be what homicide is, where it's not necessarily unjustified, because I don't think I'm unjustified when I ridicule Trump, and I don't think I'm unjustified when I ridicule you for supporting him, which by that definition would make me not a bully. Some people would just call bullying, like in a colloquial sense, any form of ridicule, and somebody who defined it that way, I would say, yeah, I do bully Trump. I've got good reason to, but it's just a different way of defining it. So whichever definition of bully you want to use, I don't really care, but it's one of those two answers. Either yes, I bully him and it's okay to, or no, I don't bully him because bullying is defined as harassing somebody when it's not warranted.
My argument there, sir, would be that you don't want to live in that world, and I would ask you again, who decides?
Which world?
Excuse me. Who decides?
I don't want to live in what world?
A world where there's bullying.
I do. I believe in freedom of speech. You should be able to bully somebody who is as ridiculous as yourself or Donald Trump. I think that that's important. I want to live in that world, and according to the Constitution, I do live in that world.
When I say you don't want to live in the world, and I hope this doesn't cross the line, like let's say you're out in public, right? Mm-hmm. Look at your arms. Just take a look at your right arm and think about a guy like me where I could easily bully you, but that wouldn't be cool. I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me. And who would decide that? I could easily decide based on what your thinking is, and we could label you. And you know what? You do get bullied. I mean, I guess we bully each other.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You kind of did the thing where you're like, oh, I don't want to live in that world, and it's like, dude, I'm working fastidiously at spending more and more of my time in that world. Linktree in the bio if you want to support those efforts, because I spend a lot of time sitting on here getting bullied. I read through the occasional death threats, and I go out in the real world and I put myself in danger by going in public and telling people where I'm going to be. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be at the Federal Building in Minneapolis, the Whipple Building, protesting ICE on Fuck ICE Day, and somebody on here who doesn't like me can come there and unalive me if that's what they are intending to do. I do those sorts of things. So what do you mean I don't want to live in that world? I'm very actively trying to live in that world.
I mean, good thing you're not such a dick, but you are kind of a dick. But I mean, not enough to where I would like try to hurt you or nothing.
Not accusing you of potentially
you're
being
a smart ass. You're a smartass. You've never been in too many fights, and this is what very typical of kids with TDS. And you just don't know what it's like.
And
like I said,
to infantilize me, or because you think I'm a kid?
Sometimes I
want
look
the
at
answer
this
to the
whole
question.
situation.
I'm always curious. Are you calling me a kid to infantilize me, or is it because you think I'm literally a kid?
I think you're young. You're about 20-something years old, right? 22. You're a kid to me. I'm 47.
Bald check? I'm 30, dude.
Okay, you're still a kid to me.
Great.
You're very immature, and you
Santana's
speak out
in
of
here.
your
Hello,
butt.
Santana. Welcome. I'm new. I hope you like me. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Well, I just think that you speak a lot bigger than you could. You write checks your ass can't handle, and that's just based on looking at you.
Dude, no, I'm sorry. This is the one thing I'm like. You were kind of saying I was being a smartass and a jerk or whatever, but this is the one thing I allow myself to be a total smarmy prick about, which is that like there's evidence on my social media of me getting face to face with ICE agents at and around the time that they murdered my neighbors Alex Preddy and Renee Good. So I just like, if you think that I'm not willing to like,
now I remember who you are.
If you think I'm not willing to cash the check, there's evidence like of me going out.
Okay,
and
so
doing
you're
otherwise.
inspired by other dorks like Alex who are not tough. Alex is not tough.
Okay, so you're changing. Wait, no, you just accused me of being a total wuss and not being willing to go cash the
total
check.
dork.
And then
You're
and then I
stupid.
gave you evidence that I do the
You are
otherwise. So
stupid
you're
as
switching
Alex
your entire
Preddy.
argument to something
if you're
else.
bragging about what you just said, and you're going out and getting in faces, and you think that's tough, that's not. If you want to get tough, go get up in some MAGA's face.
You don't have to agree with my
get up in
motivations.
some
I'm just saying
MAGA's
it's-
face, one-on-one like a
I
man.
do that.
Get up
I
in
do
some-
that. I
No,
do
you
that
don't.
often. I got in
Stop.
Cam Higby's face. I've got.
Stop.
I go to
Even
these
your
events.
audience knows we're
It's
looking
false,
at you.
Dude.
You're
There's
not
video
doing
of me
that.
doing it
so
on the
stop.
internet. What are you talking about? Am I not brave, which is what your first accusation was, or am I stupid for being so brave? Like you can think I'm stupid for being brave. That's the whole point of the lie.
I don't think that you've
support
done
Trump,
many brave acts in your life.
I think that going up and facing against ICE agents who have been shown to, without very much cause, murder people, unalive people, even if you don't want to call it murder, like the fact that they fire their weapons at people with very, very little cause. Oh yeah, here we go. What did we get restricted for? We got remove the guest. All right, we got restricted because of something the guest said. Anyway, yeah. So I'll just add that again. I gotta remember to ban that guy. But yeah. I mean, I think that I'm a soy boy because I'm inside sitting here at a desk talking to people online. It's like, well, like literally tomorrow is Fuck Ice Day. I'm going to the Whipple Federal Building at a protest that's probably going to devolve into some pretty serious chaos. So yeah, I do the other thing. I do the in-person thing. He accused me of not getting face-to-face with MAGA, which is something I do regularly. So like, I don't know. It's just false, right? Like everything he said. Mochi love is in the queue. Mochi, please don't violate the TikTok terms of service. I already got a restriction that hopefully will only last 10 minutes. And let's make sure you're a Trump supporter, and I'll ask, how old are you?
You know what? I am not. I apologize.
No worries.
I'm out of age. I just appreciated your conversation. I thought it was perfect. That gentleman there is so propagandized, so embarrassing. Does he realize that 70% of America despises ICE and considers them the Gestapo?
It is
Did he
wildly.
miss that news flash?
Well, okay, I'm gonna let you go for the sake of the live. So thank you for popping by.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. People say like, oh, 60% of Americans, 70% of Americans, and it's like, well, no, those numbers are very outdated. Trump is losing favor constantly. It's real bad. It's real bad. Man, are any of my co-hosts in here? Do I have like is DiavaTalks or somebody still in here? We could maybe double team this. I'm having a hard time getting Thomas Tully's back. No, dude, I'm not. Oh, here we go, Diava. I'll bring Diava up. Thomas Tully 3. We'll see if we have to reset the live. I got that 10-minute restriction, but I should be okay with that after a few minutes because it was because of the guest and the thing gave me the prompt to boot him.
It should, once you remove him, it should remove your 10-minute restriction.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. The viewership's not hurting as badly as it normally does. I'm still learning all these things.
Yeah, as long as you drop the guest, as soon as you drop them, the restriction goes away. If you bring him back up, it'll start back again. So he has to stay down for 10 minutes. If he wants to come back, he has to wait 10 minutes.
Okay, that makes sense. That's why Dean Withers is always explaining it that way. I'm still learning. I'm in this interesting position.
I know you are.
I know you. I'm talking to everybody. I'm in this interesting position where my lives perform well enough that everybody expects me to be wildly seasoned at this, but I've actually been doing it for like 2 months. I have no idea what I'm doing. So thanks everybody for hanging out and watching.
And just so you know, Santana stopped by. I believe he might still be here, but I vouched for you.
Oh wait,
he came by to check you out, and I told him that you were good. And that he needs more leftist support. And he said, okay, cool. I trust you. So I'll hang out.
Oh,
so he was checking you out, and I vouched for you that you're good and that you do good debates and stuff like that. And so I'm trying to get other leftist creators to support you because I think that we all need to support each other, like I've told you before.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I see somebody. Ooh, wait, this is a new gift. I've never seen this one before. Is this for Diava or me?
Oh, that's cute.
I don't know which one that was. Who sent it? How do I check? I don't know how anything works.
It
Thanks,
should
whoever
tell you
sent that.
scroll back in the chat. It'll tell you who sent a gift.
Okay. Oh my goodness. People need to help me. I can't keep up with the chat. But that's a good thing, right? I should celebrate that. Das Folk, who's been
Santana sent it.
Oh, thank you so much, Santana. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So Das Folk says you got to work on staying calm. I was too calm when I started streaming. I've worked on really like settling into my debate persona because I don't talk this quickly when like out in the real world. My goodness, this is a very performative thing. Got to be entertaining.
If people come to my live, you are literally almost comatose compared to me when I talk to Trump supporters. So.
I pop into your live and I'm like, oh my God, Diava, thank you for being so chill on my streams. Holy cow, you are. This is a question I was thinking about because
I'm a barracuda, buddy.
I've been working on navigating how to navigate like not getting the abuse or like bullying harassment flags. Like, how do you not get flagged all the time for talking to Trump supporters the way that you do? Have you found the exact magic words?
Pretty much. I call them like dorks, or I call them like chuds, and I call them other words and stuff like that.
I like nincompoops.
If you don't say idiot or dumb, those are the two words that seem to trigger the most. You say them repeatedly.
Yeah,
I call them potatoes, and I call them all kinds of weird stuff. It's just funny.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to. It's usually in the heat of a debate when they're, because I mean, I'm a woman, and so I get all the really raging misogynists, and I get the debate bros, and I get the people who think they're going to come in and just school this old hag, which is what they call me every day. I'm not even actually that old. I know chronologically I'm in my 50s, but I'm not old. But boy, they come in and call me every name in the book. And the moment they say something really, really stupid, I just start laughing. And if you want to emasculate a man very fast, just start laughing.
Well, I'll welcome Santana. Good to have you on here.
Hey, friend.
Hey, hello. Hey, Diva. How are you?
I'm good, love. Santana's way more patient than I am.
Yeah, you guys have very different strategies to your guest. It's a total pleasure to meet you, by the way, Santana.
Likewise. Yeah, I mean, I was swiping by, and you caught my attention, and then I saw Diava, and I said, "Oh, okay, this is dope."
I'm earning my keep around here. I'm trying to make the friends and do the thing. But what I was just saying, I think, is like one of the valuable things about having so many new voices in this is that Diava's pretty mean to her guests. You're very calm and collected with the way that you school people, Santana, because I've got plenty of airtime listening to you, and I think I have my own sort of like fire hose of information rapid talk thing that I'm working on, where I'm really leveraging the fact that I'm good at my tongue twisters and I can articulate a thought quickly to like be able to drive you get so much information density that the stream is interesting, because we all need a different strategy to get as many listeners as possible, because not everybody's going to like the sound of each of our voices, but we can each take a different slice of the audience.
Yeah, no, and what I was going to say as well, two things. One, to your direct point, I think it's good to have like different voices, different perspectives, and then have the ability to bounce that off of each other. But two, like when I enjoy going into other people's spaces and like co-hosting or interacting, because you get to kind of change your pace and show a different side of you. Like you just said with Diava, how she's a little bit different here than she would be on her live, and you will see that a lot. So that's a good thing. And then to the point as far as like the flags or whatever, Diava hit it on the head. One of my favorite things to do is call people bub or donuts or whisper. Like I've realized as long as you don't yell, you can say pretty much whatever
my
you
fans
want.
really like that I call people nincompoops.
Yeah.
Nah, buddy, you're being a nincompoop. That's silly what you just said. Like,
yeah, you just got to find colorful words.
People love that attitude. Forces us all to be a little bit more creative, which is good. We've
And
got a caller.
Santana-
You guys want to handle a caller together?
Sure. And Santana, I was letting you know he's in Minneapolis, and so he goes out and he's been protesting.
I heard him talking about it just now. That's impressive.
Yeah, well, I think I'm in a right place at the wrong time. I try not to I take a little bit of personal credit for it when people tell me that I'm a wuss because it's just so false, frankly.
Yeah.
Just because it's just a fun little turnaround of like, all right, go to my page and scroll. Like, I do go outside. There's evidence. Thank you for all that. But like in general, it's just more like it's like one of those like, if you have the capability, then you have the responsibility. And I just happen to not, whatever glitch it is in a person's mind that makes them comfortable getting up close to ICE agents and getting crazy footage of them. Like I have that, so I should do it. And I have some articulation skills, so I use them on here. So I'm just trying to do what I can.
Well, you have the right. Well, you also have the white privilege.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the shield I get to wear, right? Like it's amazing the things I can get away saying and doing around ICE agents compared to the Republicans will point out when I have footage showing a crowd of 100,000 people at a protest because I did that the other day. No King's Day was crazy here because I was right by the flagship for it, so I went to that obviously. And they'll say like, "Ooh, so few minorities here," and it's like, no shit. Like, are you aware of the thing we're protesting? Of course they're not coming here and doing that. If minorities went and protested at the Whipple building, they would just take them inside. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course we're not going to do that. That's crazy. All right, I am going to bring up Tom Scotland though. I'm going to insist that he be a Trump supporter. I'm going to insist that he not violate the TikTok terms of service, and I'm going to start by asking Tom, how old is he?
I am 20 years old.
I believe you, but I hear maybe not an American accent. Are you in America?
No, I spoke to Santana the other week. I just want to ask you the same question.
Sure. Santana, should I hear the question?
I don't remember the question.
All right, I'll hear the question and I'll let you go. What's the question?
With everything that Trump has said about Europe and the way we handle conflict whenever they declare Article 5 in NATO, why should we support his war in Iran when it has been proven to be an illegal war and Pete Hegseth is a war criminal?
So I'll let you go because you're friendly. But to answer your question, we wouldn't.
should not.
Yeah, we wouldn't, and it's not under Article 5 protections because we instigated the conflict. So Iran could now we're now in a situation because of 5 weeks ago, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, but whenever it was before the war started, if we had been attacked by Iran, then Article 5 would have been triggered, and it actually would have been sensible as a component of the mutual defense agreement for people to defend us from Iran. But we have given up that privilege by instigating a conflict with Iran because Iran could make an attack on American soil right now. And if am I, please fact check me. Am I right about this? Because we started it with Iran, it would no longer trigger Article 5 if they attacked us. That's correct.
That's correct. We got involved with Israel's quote unquote preemptive strikes. And so, we put ourselves in that position.
Yeah.
That's correct. And if I may add, I don't think that NATO is not responding to the United States in this conflict. I believe that they're rejecting Donald Trump.
Yeah. I mean, that's
because he's unilaterally. He doesn't have Congress's blessing. He didn't go through the proper channels. He's doing kind of his own rogue thing. So I think that NATO is smart to keep out of it because the Strait of Hormuz was open and free.
Yeah.
Until he bombed them.
Yeah.
So they shut it and now charging for it. And now he wants to walk away and say, oh, NATO, you need to come clean up his mess. Abso-fucking-lutely not. No way.
Yeah, and if I had written the rules of NATO, this maybe isn't what I would want for America, just because I've got to preserve my own country a little bit. But if I had written the rules to the NATO agreement, I might have written them in such a way that we would have been ejected from NATO for what we said about Greenland. Because I think making those sorts of threats about conquest of a member nation of a treaty organization like that should be disqualifying from membership in that treaty organization. But I didn't write the NATO rules, so
let's not forget that Trump even openly admitted that the reason why NATO wasn't quote unquote responding is because of the fact that he threatened to annex Greenland. Like he's openly admitting that he's acting aggressively towards our allies, and he's wondering why no one wants to help him.
Yeah,
You can't have it both ways.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, like if we're going to talk about this, the thing that my guests talk the most about in terms of why we should fight this war in Iran is because it's to protect us from Iran. But again, as I just said, we gave up the best protection from Iran that we had. Now we're on our own fighting Iran
In the JCPOA.
Well, we have Israel,
and now he's trying to renegotiate now almost essentially the entire JCPOA.
If they put the JCPOA back in place, like to the letter identical, Trump will take credit for it.
Of course.
I was about to bring them up. We just had somebody pop into the queue who I was going to ask you guys first, because you guys are far more experienced with the local scene on here on TikTok Live. The DNC Decimator, was that an account worth talking to?
If you want to.
He's gone.
Good.
He left.
He's not good.
Well, I'm new at this, so I got to pay my dues by shoveling. I haven't blocked all of them. Oh, he's back. He's back. Are we gonna?
Yeah, he's
Go ahead.
not good at debating.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The DNC detonator. Please don't violate the TikTok terms of service. Make sure you are a Trump supporter to stay connected. And tell me, how old are you?
26 and detonator. I like that one.
Did I say detonator? Yes, decimator.
No, I don't know. I kind of like that. The first one.
Okay.
Kind of happy accident there.
What would you like to argue?
Neither apply.
So I support Trump because he's never going to give you up. He's never going to let you down.
Yeah.
He's never going to run.
I'm not interested in getting rickrolled. If you're going to do it, like at least play the song. But what?
Darn. Okay,
See, that's what you should have done. You should have queued it up.
Trolling,
so that the thing with Trump is that and then you hit the button, so then it goes, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never run around and desert you. Anyway.
Damn. Yeah. I guess. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trolling. I'm not even a fucking
all right,
Trump
goodbye.
supporter.
Yeah. Okay. Did I win by doing the song better than him?
You did.
Great.
I need to figure out how to. I need to do some like a private live or something with some of my fans to figure out getting like music sorted out on TikTok Live so I can play guitar and play some piano and stuff, because I think it'd be fun to sing some songs when I don't have guests and stuff like that. But it's very, very difficult to. I've tried to do it with like Omegle and like video chats so I can like play music for my family back home, but it's very, very hard to set up a like live streamed audio feed to sound good. It's like a technical skill that I don't have for music anyway. I'm okay at it for just voice. Getting it balanced so that my voice doesn't like completely wash out the guitar or vice versa it's hard to do.
Well, if I could give you a word of advice, just to let you know, if you do something other than talk about politics and talk about Trump supporters will not come by.
Oh yeah. No. I would say that
music and shit, they'll just keep scrolling.
Oh yeah. I couldn't do it as an in between because it would take the live. But I could do it at the end when I don't care about tanking the live.
Diava, if you do they're all in. It doesn't matter what I do. They're always there. Like we have to tell them like this is not that type of live. We're not talking about Trump every single time.
That's because you're black, my guy.
I suppose it is going to be a different demographic for the. I mean, the three of us have pretty different approaches to this in terms of leveraging the way people might speak to us.
Which is what makes it so cool, because I love that so many left creators are on here, and everyone has their own style and their own way they do things, and it works for them every single time. And it's different. It's like we all pool a different set of people, but I still think it's cool, and I still think it's awesome. So
I think one of the next, like the first upgrade I have to make with some of this streaming money is definitely going to be a better webcam than this 15-year-old one that I'm using. And I think that the demographic of people that I get because of the way I present, just as you're scrolling through the feed, is that especially a little blurred as I am, I look a lot younger than I am.
Just so you know.
Well, I know it's decent. It's better than a lot of people's phone cameras. I just think that if I upgrade to like a proper camera that just gives me a little bit more of that crispness, I'll look a lot closer to the 30 years old that I am, because the demographic of callers I get is a lot of like middle-aged dads that, like, you know, their wives don't talk to them anymore, so they want to talk to me, and they just want to like school me like I'm some little kid. Like I can hear an adult's tone when they think I'm not an adult. And it's something I run into, not so much in my real life anymore, just because I'm getting older and I don't look that young. But when I was like 26, 27, I looked like I was 19. And you can just tell the way someone's talking to you that they don't know you're actually like a grown person with some adult experience. So I just get a lot of that like very condescending, like, well, young man, if you'd ever worked a hard day in your life, you'd understand why women shouldn't have the right to vote or whatever terrible, horrible thing they're going to say.
Can I say something? Because somebody in the comment section said I just dissed Santana because he was black.
Yeah, you should just let it slide, Diava. You don't have to respond to stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you know that's not me.
Diava, what's understood doesn't have to be said. I've made a personal decision not to like reply to certain things, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning when it's worth talking to the chat, and the thing I always have to remind myself is to see something that I really want to respond to and be like, no, don't respond to it. I have to invite them to come talk to me up here. Come on. Debate with us, talk about it. Come share that note with the rest of the class.
The one thing that I had to learn the hard way is that I just refuse to try to make everyone happy. Like I try to be a good person and do good things, but I'm not going to sit here and make it. I've made peace with understanding I'm not going to make everyone happy. And there might be certain things that I say or do that may upset people, but I'm never, going to intentionally try to hurt or harm anyone. And so, I just stick to that. And, some people just love, being a troll or whatever.
Well, yeah, and whatever insults people are going to hurl at me, like one attitude I like to take is that they're like, they'll be like, oh, I bet you, I bet you have a lot of like, gay sex or whatever. And I'm like, tons, 3 people just this morning. Anyway, what's your point? What do you want to talk about Trump? Like, I just breeze right past it. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care what you say about me. None of it matters. I am only interested in discussing the issues on here. I only discuss myself with people who like are nice about me. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that.
The people who store the shit pot should have to lick the spoon.
I like that. Yeah. But I mean, we've got 186 people here, and that raises the question: is this have we built a good echo chamber, or are there some Trump supporters who want to come talk to the panel? But maybe we've made a panel that's going to scare away everybody. Because we were just talking about how we attract a different type of caller, each of us. So maybe not. But I'm also, like I said, very just happy to meet you, Santana. It's cool to talk to you.
Yeah, no, likewise. I appreciate you having me up. Like I said, I was just scrolling through and it's funny. I was just sitting here and my wife was like, well, hey, who are you listening to? Because, Dean is off. And I was like, well, this is a guy. I'm sitting here listening to him. He seems pretty chill. And then that's when I saw, Diava. But yeah, I mean, I was just scrolling looking for someone to listen to and you caught my attention. So like, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. I try to be entertaining even when I don't have a caller, and that's kind of the challenge. I think I struggled with that when I was new, but I'm good at yapping. So gotta keep yapping. Gotta keep talking about something. Santana, can I get your thoughts on the Melania thing from yesterday? That's been on my mind. Oh, you don't need to say any more. The laughter. Oh, what a soundbite.
Something is coming.
I know
something's coming.
I know what's coming.
That's like if the seams have been splitting, I think the Melania speech was like one of the buttons popping off the shirt. Like it was like, oh my God, what are we in for?
I know what's coming.
I bet you're gonna say what I'm thinking.
Well, let me just tell you really quick. There's a interview that's going to air tomorrow in Spain.
Oh,
from Amanda Ungaro, who was married or not married to, but partners with Zampoli or whatever his name is the one who brought Melania to America, who is now in Trump's cabinet. The interview with her is airing tomorrow. Which is why yesterday when that happened, I'm like, she's coming out ahead of something. But no one could figure out what it was until I saw a post on Blue Sky today where there's an interview coming out tomorrow in Spain on El País or something like that. That's coming out tomorrow about Melania and Jeffrey and Zampoli or whatever his name is. I can't say his name right. But she was friends with Melania for like 20 years. And she has been posting feverishly since then that she's going to take Melania down and everyone else.
Did you see also there's a reports apparently Trump didn't know about about the actual press conference?
I've seen that, and that was brought up earlier in my stream tonight, and I just said to whoever mentioned it, like, I've heard that mentioned by a couple of content creators, but like, what is the source on that? Like, how do we know?
Yeah,
that didn't know?
I think that was it the Washington? I think it was the Washington Post that had the story. They've had a couple of stories. Like, there's a couple of things that came out today, but there's
He said on MSN Now. He said on MSN Now he didn't know that she was going to do that.
Yeah.
And I want to just tell you, and this is not anything confirmed. This is literally just my thoughts. But the only reason that I think that I personally believe that Trump put that video up last night of that woman being bludgeoned with a hammer.
Trump did fucking what now? Sorry, what?
Oh,
he posted on Truth Social.
Okay, that's fucking crazy. But I am actually going to put that to the side for a moment, and maybe we can talk about Trump's posting of a woman being bludgeoned with a hammer after we talk to HXRZK, who I'm going to insist be a Trump supporter, not violate the TikTok terms of service, and tell me first, how old are you?
18.
18? Do you? Do we believe him?
Well, what year were you born?
2007.
What month?
January 25.
No, wait. You said 2007. Wouldn't that make him 19 if he was born in January? Is my math right? He's being awfully quiet. I'm going to disconnect him. I don't believe him. Okay, sorry. Hammer video? What?
Wait, let me before Diva tells you about it. I'm just gonna tell you this: if this is something you're gonna do, then you have to be ready for crazy shit every single day,
every minute.
I know. I'm hamming it up a little bit, but it is just on Tuesday. HXRZK, stop trying. Sorry, I don't believe you. It is just Tuesday that the Trump threatened to kill 90 million Iranians. So do fill me in. Do fill me in on the hammer video.
So he posted a video of a person unaliving a woman with a hammer, and he posted it on Truth Social with no trigger warning or anything, just posted it on the official website for him. My personal beliefs are that he posted that because, oh God, this is going to seem so weird. What's the context?
Was this like in Iran or something? Like what?
No, it was, he was taking a shot at immigrants here in the U.S. and saying
it was an immigrant, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I personally think he did that, to be honest. I think he did it because he was mad at Melania for doing that press conference, and he didn't know about it. I think it was something like, yeah, I'm posting this like that's what I would do if I could. And that's just my own personal thoughts, because there's no rational reason he would do that.
Yeah, that's when I talk about the hypernormalization, this is the sort of thing that I'm talking about, because we used to live in a political climate where you could look at a week of Trump's presidency and say, well, here are three things that would have gotten him impeached during the before time when American politics made sense. Like, before it became an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like a really violent, misogynistic, terrible, racist episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? So yeah, that's crazy. But
if you remember, Ivana suddenly fell down the stairs and unalived the day before she was supposed to testify. So I'm just saying Melania needs to stay away from some stairs.
Did you? Diava, I think it's the fact that, I don't like to speculate on someone's mental health or the health period, but I think it might be connected to cognitive issues. I know I agree. There's a member of the House that just that introduced articles to have his doctor issue a cognitive test and have the cognitive test delivered to Congress under oath and under the potential of perjury, because they're worried about his mental faculties.
I'm very interested to see if anything comes of that, because that's, so much has happened this week. That's in addition to articles of impeachment again being filed this week. I think every day the odds of just a handful of Republicans flipping in the House to support that sort of thing increase. But I'd be so curious to see how it plays out if there is some effort to have a doctor do that, because you got to just imagine what it's like to be that doctor.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm concerned about that sort of thing. I think it's hard. You'd be hard, regardless of what their political persuasion is. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a doctor who wants to do that to themselves. Be the doctor who goes and gives that presentation to the Senate. I would love to see it.
I mean, nobody has that many cognitive tests in a year. I mean,
yeah, Trump's health record lately has been suspicious. He's obviously being treated for some old man stuff.
Same with MRIs. When they say it's routine, there's no such thing as a routine MRI because you have to go through layers of insurance approvals.
Well, you know what, Diava, I'll actually push back on that a little bit because I think that if I was the president's doctor, and I'm not a doctor, I don't know anything more than the average person about medical science. Maybe I do just because I'm educated, but I think that if the president was 80 and especially if they were 80 and like overweight, I probably would actually just MRI them pretty regularly just to check. Just so like that's the sort of thing where I would actually say.
The only issue that I would say with that is like MRIs. I don't know if you've ever had one, but
how many did Biden have?
Yeah, but like MRIs is such a procedure. Like
it is a big one.
Yeah, I've had to have one before, and like getting in the tube and staying in the tube for like a long time. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah, and the chat says it would be expensive. I'd say the money is probably not the issue. It's probably the president's time that's the issue. But when I say regularly,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
If the president was 80 and fat and he had an MRI once a year as part of his physical, I wouldn't think that's unusual.
Yeah. Also, the chat said that you made it out to the FYP, so like you're getting pushed.
I feel like I just hit the ground running with doing this. I had a couple of posts take off on Instagram and on here because I have got some truly crazy footage of ICE agents. Like I was at the Mueller Park incident with Gregory Bavino, which is like one of the only events that they're actually going to pursue charges to those guys on. So some of my footage is going to get used in that investigation, which is very exciting. But I had those take off, and I just immediately was like, I felt like I was fishing, and like I caught a big one, and I was like, what do I do? So I have been fastidiously working on taking advantage of the opportunity I have to amplify my own voice by learning how to do all this. So I've been doing the things, and it has been working out fantastically for me. So I cannot believe that me sitting in a chair, even, tonight, obviously the stream's doing a little bit better than it normally does because you two are on here, so thanks for that. But me just alone here still pulls triple-digit viewership, and the fact that comes through is just absolutely remarkable. Thank you for the star. Who sent that?
Especially only legit. 2 months in. I mean, it took me a year or more to get a lot of people. So you're doing famously. But that's also why I try to promote you, and I come up here and I try to be on here to draw in my people and stuff like that, because I want people to support you because I think you're great. I think you have a good message. You're smart. And you're intellectual and you're intelligent. And I think that you speak very eloquently and you say things that people, in a way that people need to understand. And I think it's great.
Yeah, Santana doesn't know my history, but in terms of my jobs and employment and academics, I tutored a lot of subjects when I was in college, and I've worked in childcare and education for most of my life. Not currently, but I've worked with a lot of different kids of different ages and different backgrounds, some very difficult schools in New York, and much of my teaching experience is in teaching public speaking, where I do the exercise of teaching people how to advocate for themselves and show the world who they are and say their words clearly, make sure people hear them. So I feel like I reflect on my resume after a couple of months of doing this, and I'm like, I'm an interesting equation for being good at this. I have a number of disparate skills. One of the things that I've been reflecting on lately, I was thinking about this just last night because I'm a musician, and I was doing a gig last night where I play intro and outro music for comedians in a crummy comedy bar in Minneapolis, and I was just taking in the chaos of the scene I was in with all these terrible jokes flying around and all this. And I exist in this really free and horrible comedy scene where there's a lot of great art and a lot of really terrible stuff that you kind of just don't get one without the other. So I'm so used to people being harsh. Thanks for the hat. Who sent the hat? It says it up there. Smiling's free. Thank you for the cap. I subject myself to the roasts. Like, it's fun that the guitar player guy on stage is willing to let the comedians roast him. So I just like have all this practice in terms of the snappiness of a performance environment where we're trying to entertain people, we're trying to keep people engaged. So yeah, I've been basking in the fact that I didn't realize I was giving myself something of a boot camp for this type of content creation. And it's going great. It's been exciting and fun. And I like doing it. I feel very, very privileged that I get to do it with an audience, because it is agonizing to sit for 3 hours waiting for one caller when you have 6 viewers, which I did a little bit of. But the fact that I can just hop on here and get cooking away right away feels, I mean, I've got people like, you, Diava, and Santana now to thank for it. So thanks everybody for helping.
I'll say this, and I know, Diva knows, like, the most important thing, if I give you any advice, is build a connection with your chat. Because I like I said all the time, I much rather talk to my chat than like Trump supporters, because Trump supporters suck. Like, my chat is super cool, even though they bully me. Like, I have a lot of fun with them. So like, making that connection with the people that actually tune in to watch you is really important.
Yeah, and somebody in the chat just asked if I debate, because of course I made acquaintance with Santana tonight, so we're kind of having the friends.
We're looking for debates.
We are looking for debates. Yeah, debates welcome. I'm mixed on it, because I'm excited to be talking about you. But
Speaking of debates, Diava, did you get to see my video as far as who I got to debate?
I did. Are you talking about Rokana?
Yeah.
I can't wait for Sunday. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be real. Yeah, we did a surrounded, and Rokana was the.
You did a Jubilee.
Yeah, I did.
Fantastic! I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's interesting, because this wasn't like a left versus right type of deal. This was, one United States representative versus 20 Americans. Yeah, and so it was super interesting, because of course, he and I align a lot. So. It was kind of one of those positions where, like, even listening to his claims, which they laid out the claims, I was like, I agree with that claim. So, but it was really cool, and he was super dope. He like hung out afterwards and took pictures and talked to us, and so it was really good.
Santana, he seems to be one of the only not only, but one of the prominent Democrats that is really going toe to toe with Trump.
Oh yeah, he is, and he's not only that. Like, he doesn't take corporate PAC money, and then
no APAC money.
No,
and he's in the Tellerico Club.
Yeah, he is. And what's really funny though is, like, I'm not gonna talk about the episode yet, because I don't even know if I'm gonna what's gonna make it in there. But one thing I will say is that I did kind of give him feedback as far as like. The Democrats that are in office, they all seem performative, right? They're not really doing anything. They just want to seem like they're doing something. And we need people that are actually going to fight and actually push back. And after I told him that, he's been a couple of places, and he's now shifted his tone to saying the same thing. So I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah, I really like, a lot of people dislike the Jubilee format, but I think it's the same sort of debate that we have about what the three of us do, where so many people say, like, why do you platform these people? And this is the discussion that's come out since Dean Withers' most recent Jubilee, where I forget the name of the person he was up against, but it was either of you remember her name?
It's something I know you talking about. I don't remember.
She had some pretty reprehensible beliefs. She's
crazy.
Yeah, well, so frankly, it was a very Emily Wilson. Yeah, it hasn't been talked about so much on here, but on Instagram, where my clips do really well, so I get a lot of attention and traction on there. There's a huge debate going on because of that Jubilee, or at least it's been amplified by discourse about that Jubilee debate about, like, should we give these people a platform? Because it seems like there's a lot of activists who feel like giving a platform to somebody who believes the sorts of things that our callers believe is like necessarily doing a bad thing by giving them a voice. And I think obviously the three of us disagree. I think it's important to showcase that is like my justification on it. And I think people learn from those conversations, even if the callers aren't persuaded themselves. But I think the biggest thing is, like, look at that debate with Emily Wilson and say, like, she is on your side. How can you defend this? But But I mean, the Jubilee thing is fascinating. I want to hear more about the Jubilee thing.
No, I was just gonna say, so it's actually super interesting to me because I had someone actually reach out, and when they first told me about it, I was like, but then they told me that I would have an opportunity to debate an actual U.S. Member of Congress. Like, that's the thing that got my attention, because it's not, like some random debater or some neo-Schnazi or whatever. It was like an actual member of Congress. And then what we were talking about, which I guess I can say it now because they've already posted the trailer, but we debated on like the Epstein files, right? And so that was something I was like, well, this is something that's actually really important. It's something that should cross all party lines. And this is an opportunity to talk to someone or debate someone who's seen the unredacted files. And so that was the thing that pushed me to say, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it. So that was interesting for me.
Yeah, the unredacted files thing is interesting because it's something I haven't been able to find a good answer on online. And if I was in person with somebody who had access to that, I'm sure there's only so much they can say. But I would really want to know, like, how mechanistically does that work? Because one of the things that I've heard some Trump supporters say is like, oh, so the Congress has access to them, and like not enough has come out. And I'm saying like, well, they are coming out and saying that they're seeing some terrible stuff in the Epstein files. So you're wrong about that. But additionally, if there are 3 million unreleased Epstein files, we don't have enough lawmakers to like review them. That's not enough people who have access to the unredacted Epstein files for them to do any kind of thorough job assessing what's in them. And unsurprisingly, the DOJ has packaged the Epstein files in a way that makes them kind of difficult to parse for the information that you're looking for. They're kind of disorganized, Wouldn't it be nice if all the documents that had something to do with each other were really packaged together in like a proper tree file structure, the way any of us would organize a bunch of files about something? So I would just be like, what is the interface like? What type of computer are you sitting at? What is
Well, I'll say this, and again, I'm not gonna give it away because one, I want people to watch, and two, I don't know what's gonna make it or what's gonna land on the editing floor. But that is something that he spoke to as far as like what it looks like, the inner workings and blah 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 blah.
Thank you,
so
Teresa.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty good. In spirit, I am going to bed. I'm just like doom scrolling, and I happen to come in. Let's see, this is what happens when I say I'm going to sleep, and then people like bully me to go to bed. But no, like that's a great question. I hope that information actually makes it in because I think that's important for people to know too.
Yeah. I mean, sadly, there's no way any of us Americans are ever going to be able to properly assess if we've actually received all of the Epstein files. So there is just going to be kind of a constant tease of this where, like, I would be satisfied to know that, like, to see information come out that explains Trump's behavior. But I think it'll be hard for us to ever know if the Epstein files were not doctored in some way that's going to be lost to history. I think that's one of the sad things about this. Pam Bondi's DOJ, Trump's FBI might have actually deleted some files. You know what I mean? Like there might be some stuff that's gone forever.
Well, that's why he fired her, because now she can claim she's not the AG anymore, so she doesn't have to testify.
I am so not celebrating her being fired. I will celebrate her going to prison, but I am just not going to celebrate any of these people being fired.
Like, Congress is not letting her slide. It's funny, Nancy Mace was actually even on Twitter saying that does not absolve you. You still have to come and testify.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, it should be that way. Oh, I'm getting like all these new gifts. Spring Strike Collar. Thank you very much for that.
Hey, Santana, I'm like you. For me on the East Coast, it is 20 minutes till 1. And I'm about to go to sleep because I'm thinking really fast.
Yeah, same here. I was going to go live, but I was like, I had planned on going live, and then I was sitting on with Dean and my wife. I texted her. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. And then he was like, are you going live? And I'm like, no, I'm going to bed. That's why Spirit was bullying me early. But I'm going to get ready to hop off as well to call it. But I appreciate you having me up. And Diava, I appreciate you letting me know that, this is someone to pay attention to.
Well, while your manners are outstanding, obviously I'm the one who has you to thank. So I appreciate you hopping on and giving me a little taste of the exposure. Because everybody can get double tapping away on the phone screen. Because there we go. It literally just happened as I was looking at the number. But thanks, Diava, for helping me set my concurrent viewer record at 274 for debates. I've had more for protests.
Go.
But we just crossed that. It was just 275 for a moment. So thank you, Santana, for helping me set a new record tonight.
No, it's all you guys. I appreciate you having me up.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
All right,
too.
I'll kick you both for the algorithm, and I hope to see you both again soon.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Oh, how fantastic! I was having kind of a lame stream. I had 3 people call in and tell me that fascism is a leftist ideology. I spent too much time on that. Not very much time, but still too much, and it was just kind of dragging. But yeah, so having Santana pop in, that was really, really cool. And if everybody could keep double tapping away on the screen, because now we're below that new record, but that's okay. We'll get him back. I'm gonna accept Kadia into the call. I'm gonna remind them not to violate the TikTok terms of service. I am going to ask them if they are a Trump supporter. But first, before you answer that, how old are you? Are you over the age of 18? Ooh, you've been muted. Why are you muted? Unmute. Yes, are you there? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, 0. I heard a little bit of noise. All right, come. Oh, wait, there you are. Okay, hello. It's a friendly, so I'm gonna say wave. I'm gonna say a heart. Thank you so much. But we're gonna move along. All right. We got a whole bunch of people in here. Are any of them Trump supporters? Does anybody disagree with the sign? I didn't even talk very much about the sign tonight. I think I had like one caller who just didn't argue in good faith for like even a second. So I had to move along to somebody who was actually going to have a conversation. But I was really hoping to talk about like. The question I wanted to ask a Trump supporter tonight was, if you think that Trump is competent, why did he threaten to kill 90 million Americans? The exact wording of that tweet, I had a guy come up and said that he didn't threaten that. He just threatened that apparently causing a civilization to die is not killing all the people in it. But again, it's just, how can you defend it? How can you defend it at all? Still curious if so-and-so and so-and-so are accurate. They report different numbers. I don't know what you're talking about. Curious about that. But anyway, get double tapping away on the screen. We've got loads and loads of people watching. I don't think any of them are Trump supporters. It's fun to have friends up. So I'm so happy to have had Diava and Santana on. But it does kind of echo chamber the live a little bit. I think it is better for the calls for me to be on my own. So some streams will be that way and some streams will be the other way. But yeah, if you think that Trump's a good president, let's talk about that. I really think that that's a very, very silly thing to think for an adult who has a functioning brain and speaks English and knows how to read and stuff like that. Because if you know how to read and you care about what's going on, presumably you read up on what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. It is getting hard to find Trump supporters. I'm already running into it myself, where it took about a month to run through all the regular callers. Ooh, we got a hamster playing a drum. What's that one called? Thank you, Diava. It took me about a month to run through the regular callers, where it's like, all right. I know that guy just like actually thinks that women shouldn't vote, or that guy like thinks that we should deport anybody who's not a 5th generation white dude, or like whatever crazy things. It's hard to find just like the actual everyday Trump supporter who thinks he's doing a good job. Those are becoming pretty scarce. I talk a lot about the continuum of the evil Trump supporter who like knows what he's doing and knows that it's bad, but just wants it to happen because they actually want that white Christian ethno state or whatever. And then the fool who just believes what they hear on the radio or on talk news and still supports him because they're just like not fully educated on what's going on and don't believe that people like me who try to tell them otherwise. But I think we're just, the ratio is changing, right? Every day there are fewer fools and probably about the same amount of evil people, because those people are mostly pretty far gone. So yeah, I invite you to come up. We can talk about which you are. We can talk about why you think that Trump is a competent president. We can talk about the war. We can talk about the Epstein files. We can talk. There's a smorgasbord of crazy things to talk about this week. We can talk about the 13 articles of impeachment. I'll say this just because I have a bigger audience than when I said it at the beginning of the stream. But I think that the importance of an impeachment. It's possible for us to get an impeachment. Probably not a conviction, which means that the House will impeach Trump, and then the Senate will fail to convict him because the Republican majority is greater in the Senate than it is in the House by percentage. So it's far less likely that a conviction will happen. But it isn't very many Republicans that we need to flip. I mean, Thomas Massey might vote for a Trump impeachment. Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene retired, but like Boebert might vote for a Trump impeachment. And then after them, we don't need that many. So it could happen, and if it happens, then those 13 articles of impeachment would need to be discussed on the Senate floor. And I don't think that this Congress would vote to convict him on those 13 counts, but it would put those 13 articles of impeachment on public display for everybody to have to hear their congresspeople talk about, or their senators talk about the things that Trump has done. Because I had a phone call with a friend of mine who I update on the news because she doesn't want to follow it all on social media. So I have a few people in my life like that. I spoke to her yesterday for about an hour on the phone, and I read through them. I went through them and said, oh yeah, this one pertains to these sorts of things. These ones pertain to those sorts of things, all that stuff. And she hadn't heard of about half of the things that he had done. And for each of them, she was like, oh my God, he did what? It is 2/3 for removal in the Senate, the chat is asking. And the current majority is 53. So something like, what is that? 14 senators would need to flip. That's ridiculous. It's like 20% of the... It's like, yeah, it's a chunk of the Republican senators that would need to flip. So we're not quite there yet. I don't think it's, sadly, he's not obviously guilty enough for those traitors to be forced into convicting him. Realistically, there are a lot of Republican senators right now who wouldn't impeach Trump if he... I don't think I can say the example I just thought of because of TikTok terms of service. But if there was video doing something horrible that came out that was undeniably not AI because it was older than AI or whatever, there's already so much evidence. It's hard to imagine the evidence some of these people would need to say, okay, we have to impeach Trump. But I don't think that the Republican senators are fools. I don't think that they think he's innocent. I think they're evil. I think they just don't care that he's guilty. And I think that's a fundamentally different thing. Yeah, so default name says, good username, says Congress is so bought and sold, Netanyahu both sides. Yeah. I mean, I think we've got a problem with our politicians being bought. The current bigger problem is the Republicans, but it is a bummer that the Democrats tend to also support Israel. But I think, undeniably, we're up for a big political shakeup. I mean, it's so hard to picture what American politics is going to look like in 10 years. Maybe that's something we could sit around and brainstorm on. Like, are we going to be better because of this? Are we going to learn? Like, is this going to be like the French Revolution? And like Trump will be the reason that history, like the Trump era will be when the billionaires fell, like when the world became globalized and the internet became a thing and there were planes and highways and like suddenly everything's all connected and fast and the population plateaus, this big change on Earth where all that stuff all happened and we suddenly came to a head where suddenly this wealth consolidation thing started happening to a degree that it's never happened before in human history because people at the top were capable of abusing that development of technology in order to achieve that sort of outcome. Will Trump be the reason that we didn't destroy the entire world because of that? Will he be the reason that Ponzi scheme of exploiting the poor has, collapsed at the end of the day? We will see over the next few years. Obviously, I hope so. I just don't think that, fewer than 10,000 people should pretty much completely control the country. But because it's all about the money, as it's being pointed out in the chat by ENAC915, because it's all about the money, that's what's happening. We just end up in this situation where it's a small number of wealthy people who control almost everything. That makes sense, but AI could undermine that change. I suppose. I mean, we are already seeing the advent of AI undermining news. I was furious with every news station that used AI upscaling or altering to change pictures of Alex Prede and the incident in which he died, because people did both. They made left-leaning news made pictures of him look more handsome with like a filter. And I can almost chalk some of it up to incompetence and be like, yeah, you put like a beauty filter and didn't realize that it's not like making the colors of the picture better. It's like actually AI filtering, pumping out a new picture that just isn't a picture of him. Thank you, Midwest Progressive, for promoting everybody to keep liking. Or yeah, we're almost there. We're 90K to 100K, and that'd be a nice little addition to this stream, because this has been a fun stream. But yeah, we that I can almost chalk up to incompetency if you used an AI filter, not realizing that it's like it lacks journalistic integrity, because that's the problem when people make an AI photo of Alex Preddy, you know, with the gun to his back or whatever. The reason you can't use AI to make that picture look better for your news article is because it adds information. It's, you know, it's not like CSI Enhanced. We don't have CSI Enhanced. It was always a lie. We're never going to have CSI Enhanced. The information just isn't present in the photograph. So all that upscaling is bad. But that's like a really mild example, because of course there's like actually completely manufactured AI stories that come out that are bad. And now we also see it with the Iran war, where there's AI images come out that are convincing, and people point out that this satellite imagery is AI or otherwise doctored, and that gives people more credit to then say that everything they see is AI. Oh, the missile that hit that school is AI, when no, it's not. We definitely bombed a school. That's been pretty darn confirmed. So the AI thing muddies the waters completely. I mean, I hear people say that the Howard Stern clip is AI, that the Access Hollywood tapes are AI. The people saying that the Access Hollywood tapes are AI makes me feel old, because it makes me realize I'm talking to a kid, because they weren't old enough to remember that the Access Hollywood Access Hollywood tapes came out in October of 2016. I remember the day they came out. I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting. Hillary Clinton's going to be president, and going about my day. But they accuse those files of being AI because they're 20 and they like only started paying attention to this stuff recently, and they're not old enough to remember that they literally came out before AI technology existed that could make that type of content. So yeah, maybe you know, the AI bubble is not only supporting this type of like nobody can believe anything, nothing fucking means anything anymore type of reality that we all are struggling to exist in. It also is bolstering the economy, because if you remove the AI bubble from the major market indices, you actually get a better picture of what like those major market indices better reflect the economic conditions of everyday Americans, because the success of AI companies doesn't benefit the economic conditions of everyday Americans. So there's like this big lie going on with all of it, and I find it very interesting that the AI industry not only undermines people believing the information they see on the internet, but it also undermines how bad the stock market looks, because the bubble hasn't popped yet. So double whammy on the AI. Private equity is destroying everything, and so many people are unaware. It is really concerning. Private equity, like when we talk about how healthy companies were in the 80s, where you could just get a menial job being like a cashier at a place or something, and it paid enough for you to get a house and have a family and like just like live your life and eventually retire. Like obviously you'd be more comfortable if you got a better job than being a cashier, but just like any old job was a job. So when the boomers say get a job, it's like, right, they think a job is just like one unit of American success, and they don't realize that a job these days is like 0.4 American success units, so you need 2 or 3 jobs to make it, and it's just grueling and difficult. And the reason is because private equity has destroyed the finance structure of these companies, such that they're consolidating wealth at the top to not give it to their everyday employees. And that's terrible. It's egregious. It's just like immoral and horrible. But wealthy people are always going to lobby for the ability to do that more. That's always going to be the thing. Where are we at? We're at 97K, and everybody keeps double tapping. We should be able to get some new viewers in here. People are signing off. It's late. It's midnight, but I slept until 1 today because I went to bed at 3 because I had a really good night last night. I had a very fun time last night, which is why I didn't stream this morning. Trump, greatest president ever. User 138, whatever, blah, 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 all those numbers. Please request up, hit the request button, and join the live and tell us why you think that Trump is the greatest president ever. That looks like a bot account, default username, and a pretty generic message about Trump. If you think that Trump is the greatest president ever, tell me why. Come share with the rest of the class why you think that very silly thing about the adjudicated rapist Donald Trump. Get on up here. Get on up here. Everybody, go share the live with your redneck cousin who loves Trump. I'd love to talk to him. That's my goal. I want to get one call in. I want to get a good call in before I go to bed, before I go for a walk with my dog to end the night, before I do some activities I'm not allowed to talk to on TikTok, and play a little guitar in my bed, and then go to sleep. I would like to conclude my evening with one more person coming up and telling me that they support who is probably the worst president in living memory. Yeah. Midwest Progressive has watched my live for 500 minutes. I think you were my first friend of the stream moderator, and I totally appreciate you. I think my dog knows what the word dog is because I mentioned her, and now she's at my side getting pet. Can we get some W's in the chat for Noodle? Come here, Noodle. Come here. Yes. This is Noodle. Yes. Double tap for the dog. All right, that's enough. Thank you, Noodle. All done. Noodle's named after her own brain. She's got noodles for brains. Turns out if you mix a 130-pound white lab. Yeah, 130-pound white lab. If you breed a 130-pound white lab with an Australian Shepherd, you get a velociraptor that looks like a chocolate lab. And I got one, and I named her Noodle. 100K for Noodle. Yes. Oh, and now it says 0.1 million. How fun. But default name, you have a good evening. I bet you she's still smarter than Trump. Yeah. Oh man, if she understood fascism, if she knew what he was up to, she'd be so mad. She's the friendliest thing. She only wants happiness. She just wants happiness and friendliness and excitement and joy and adventure and smells and wind and rain and rivers. She just wants the world to be such a happy place. If she had the cognitive capacity to understand what he was up to, she would turn into such a violent creature. HXRZK is gonna try again. He's the person who I thought was not. Did you? Let me ask what you. Let me predict what you're gonna say. You're gonna say that you said 18 when you meant to say 19 because your birthday was so recently. Is that what happened?
No.
Okay, how old are you?
Like I said, I'm 18. I was born in 2007, January 25.
How is my brain not working? It's 2026, and your birthday has already passed this year, so that would make you 19 if you were born in 2007.
But the year hasn't ended.
Right, but for you to be 18, having not turned 19 yet, your birthday would have to be in the future this year. But it's in the you said it was in January.
Well, the way I count it is that once the year ends, then my birthday is fulfilled.
That's not. Okay, he has to go because he's clearly not. Even in that paradigm, you'd still be old enough for the stream. I just can't trust you on your birthday if you don't that's got to be a troll, right? Yeah. The next question would have been, what time is it? Because he sounds potentially not American. That is a Dean Withers rule. It's not as strict a rule on my live because sometimes it is interesting to have the international perspective. Though it is not fantastic for viewership. People much prefer that I cook the Trump supporters. But I don't know. Maybe Dean and Diava and Santana cooked them all so much that they've all gone to bed. But I want to get one more call in. That's I am motivated to get one more call in. Maybe I'll just talk to Midwest Progressive for a little while if he's up to it. But it is the middle of the night. Time for bed. Thanks so much, Mama Avery. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, you're going to bed. Come on, MAGA, get in here. Talk to me. One more fool or evil person. One or the other. Yeah, that'd be 19 confirmed. Okay, he was so confident that I was wrong. It really had me tripping. I was doing the no, that's wrong. Because I get it right on the first try. It's if your birthday hasn't passed this year yet, then it's off by one. By the answer you get if you just add and subtract the years. So yeah, but anyway, who just joined? I saw somebody new. Midwest Progressive has a sleeping wife next to them. Yeah, you do not have to disturb her to come chat to me, and we'll talk soon. Though you should tell me in the chat, Midwest Progressive, what are you doing tomorrow? What's your are you I forget how close you live, if you're in the state or in the metro or what. But I was curious if you had plans for Fuck Ice Day, because I guess maybe I'll take a moment because it's midnight and I might be signing off soon. If I don't get another Trump supporter in here, I will take a moment to give myself the commercial of tomorrow. I will not be doing debate streams. Maybe in the evening after the day is over if I feel like it. But during the day, midday, in Central Time. I don't know exactly what time because I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Tomorrow's Fuck Ice Day. I will be going to the Whipple Federal Building that you've probably seen lots of crazy protest footage from. And I will be participating in the Fuck Ice Day festivities, which I know will involve a U-Haul truck full of adult toys. So that's going to be fun. So expect lots of content to come about that. And I will tell everybody that you should click on the link tree in my bio and follow me on YouTube, because I might be streaming on there instead of on here, because there's a lot of stuff that happens at these protests that I cannot stream on TikTok due to TOS. But YouTube is still the Wild West. So we'll see if I can get some viewers on there, because I'm new to streaming on there. But if I want to get live coverage of the craziness of whatever happens, he's in Southwest Wisconsin. Oh yeah. HXRZK, I cannot believe you're old enough. You sound young. Stop requesting. You sound old enough, and you claimed that your age doesn't change on your birthday. And I just cannot believe you. I cannot believe that you are of age if you think that way. But here, it's past midnight, so I think I'll declare this to be the Just Us Girls part of the live stream. So if a friendly wants to come up and talk to me about some stuff, you're welcome to do that. Rusty says, why can't I show on TikTok at the rally? Because there is a lot of audio that would flag TikTok's bullying and abuse thing, because people yell pretty mean things at the ICE agents. So if I stand next to the wrong person, somebody could yell something. I'm protected during a debate live, because if somebody else says something bad, TikTok knows which account said it, because it's their microphone feed. Whereas if I'm standing next to a person in real life and they say something, then my account gets the ding for it. So I am just playing with fire by having my account live stream. Follow Oskar Quentin too, because I'll be streaming on there when I get the ban. But that's not even the least of my problems, because the police brutality and stuff is violence, and TikTok doesn't allow that. So I can't, I have to be careful showing that. That doesn't get flagged as automatically. TikTok's not flagging video that shows a person being shoved or something. But also, there's some good trouble at these events. People tend to push boundaries and disobey lawful orders and things like that. So the activity that I will be filming is likely to not be 100% lawful, which again violates TikTok terms of service. And a lot of these things technically violate YouTube's terms of service. They're just not strict the way that TikTok is. So you get away with it generally. Where is it? Well, Fuck Ice Day is everywhere. So you should go protest the existence of ICE and what they've done over the last year, wherever you are. But I will be going to the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis, because I live in Minneapolis, and that's the operations headquarters for Operation Metro Surge, which has ended, but they're still using it as their headquarters, and it is still the default protest location for these sorts of things. So you can scroll back to before some of my debate clips, and I have footage from the last large protest that happened at the Whipple, if you want to check out the sort of environment. But this is a bigger, more organized protest than the last time I was there, so we expect it to be more people. We expect law enforcement to have a harder time dealing with it. And we expect it to be, just pretty crazy in general. But that said, bigger crowd because it's been planned better, but they know we're coming this time because it's planned better. So the state troopers will probably already be on scene when we arrive instead of us having to wait. It takes the state troopers about a half hour, an hour, when an angry mob shows up at the Whipple building, to show up in their riot gear. Maybe I'm hoping I don't get injured tomorrow. I do have an injury on my toe, which sucks. I have a small injury to my toe from stubbing my toe. I'm not going to describe it because it's the sort of injury that crawls up a lot of people's spines. So did something bad to my pinky toe. Haven't been running this week. It's mostly healed, but I'm just gonna ignore it all day tomorrow, and hopefully I get to keep that pinky toenail to be determined on Sunday. Midwest Progressive says, be loud, but be safe, Oskar. I can't be perfectly safe. People were too safe in Germany in the 30s. We gotta distribute some of this danger to some white people. I volunteer. Cause it's just, it's not safe out there. Jacob Seed says, reporting for what? For what? I'm saying I can't stream the thing that is going to happen tomorrow because it will feature activity by other people that is not lawful. So I can't. Yeah, I can't. That would violate TikTok TOS. So I'm just gonna mute you for spamming that. But yeah, I'm saying that I need to follow the rules, and you're like, yeah. Anyway, will you have a placard? If so, what will it say? Well, I have to focus so much on like filming and stuff. I generally don't bring a sign, because I guess lately I haven't been bringing signs because I carry the cameras and it's just hard to have the sign. Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a while. I don't really do the protest signs because my hands are busy. Follow me, says loser. I assume that's what you meant to tape. Yeah, hit the request button and tell me why I'm a loser. Let's have you up and tell me why you think that. I didn't get to discuss the claim. I might reuse the sign. I have not once reused the sign for my streaming yet, but I might give this one a second day because not one person defended the claim. Maybe it's just so obviously true that people like follow me. What a username. Yeah, don't follow him. Just can't even begin to argue against it because he threatened to kill 90 million Iranians on Tuesday. Unbelievable. All right. Any more questions before I go? We're clearly in the Thus Justice Girls. We've scared away all the Trump supporters. None of them want to talk to me. We had Santana stop by, which was really, really cool. But unless somebody else has something in the chat or we can get a Trump supporter in here, I am going to sign off for the evening. Hello, Dolphin. I recognize you. You're like one of my super gifters, aren't you? Like, I feel like your name shows up in my like analytics reports about these lives. It's exactly the sort of thing that my brain is terrible at. Is like when I see a username that I know is a regular of some kind, I automatically recognize them. Oh, what's this one called? Little cactus. Thank you. Oh my God, I still can't know. Okay, yeah, Dolphin. Oh, okay, of course. Now Dolphin is sending me all the gifts. Thank you so much. Yeah, when I see somebody's username, I can remember that they're a regular, but I can never remember why. And sometimes I don't even remember if they're friendly or not. Midwest Progressive says that might be my favorite. Well, thanks everybody for the really awesome stream. I guess shout out Santana for it's such a neat little ecosystem that such a person can just like hop in and like, give me a little boost, and then I get to keep doing this and, keep having it be successful. So before I say goodnight, you're a friend of Diava. That makes sense. Yeah. Dolphin dances and spreads joy on here. She's great. Lovely. Well, I consider you a friend of the show, Dolphin. So I'll say follow me if you're not following me, and follow me. Go to the link tree in my bio and follow me on YouTube and Instagram. Also, I'm trying to get 10,000 followers on there so I can unlock some monetization and professional features. Those are free things that you can do to support me. There's obviously not free things that you can do, like the gifts and another couple options in my Venmo. But yeah, Jan P Mom says just found you tonight. Love. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who's new. Thanks to everybody who's been coming back and supporting the stream. It's incredible. I'm gonna rest and chill and eat lots of food because tomorrow I'm gonna burn some calories going outside and facing up to whatever happens at the Whipple building. That's gonna be fun. So I'll see you guys for that tomorrow. Good night, everybody. And again, big shout out to Santana. Good night to all the Santana viewers. Thanks for sticking around.